Hello, welcome to Jason the Old Millennial. My name is Jason. Speaking here in not my basement. I keep saying that. My bedroom in the great state of Kansas, and we're back again with the group to talk about our top 10 favorite albums of 1976. You got Nick from Townsend 505. You got Bryer from Breyer's Music Showcase, our fellow Californian, which will be mentioned sometime in the stream. And we got Scott from Sound Lab Studios. Uh, there's no Hotel Texas or Hotel Pennsylvania, but there's Hotel
No,
California for sure.
and I
Um,
don't think ZZ Top didn't release their big album this year. That's 73 or 83. So
okay. All right. All right. 1976. Pretty good year of music, I would say. Um, I know Scott. He's mentioned that this is one of his favorite years.
oh, this is
uh,
my favorite year for music.
yeah, that's your favorite year. So you would definitely agree with the statement.
Yeah. Oh, when I was listening to some other albums to see if anything else would make it other than the stuff that I owned, like everything I listened to was just amazing. It's like add this to my Discogs one list. I want to get this eventually, and I have such a long list of honorable mentions for this year.
Yeah, I was funny. I was looking at my list, and at first I thought it was kind of a weak year, except for my top four were definitely like top of the notch albums. Then my 5 through 10, I wasn't as strong on, but then I went through the albums again and I kind of rearranged it, and then I kind of found myself going, you know what? I had to cut some because there's some albums I actually end up putting in my top 10 that weren't in my top 10, and albums that were in my top 10 I took out of my top 10, and I kind of rearranged everything, and then I looked at my list and I was like, man, this was a really good list. And I discovered some new stuff that I was like, yeah, this is some really good stuff here. So, but it's no surprise. Like, I feel like you pick any year in the 70s, it's like, wow, this is an incredible year of music. Like the only weak year I thought was 74 kind of. Was a semi weak kind of year for
Yeah.
me where I was like not crazy about everything. But I mean, come on, everything else though, you're gonna have because I was looking at what's going on, and like I was looking at like I mean you have all the big bands that we all love and big artists are coming out in this period of time for us. Um, like to me, I was like thinking like Elton John, he's kind of getting out of his classic period, I guess what you'd call his classic run. While Billy Joel is now starting his classic run, it feels like, of albums. So he's kind of on the up. I feel like Elton John's kind of on the way down a little bit, in a way. Uh, Led Zeppelin's kind of on their way down a little bit. They kind of hit their peak and then they were like kind of, but they're kind of going down a little bit. The Who still have like one more album, I think, in their classic period, and then they kind of go down a little bit. Um, Rush is starting to hit their stride, I think, and be on their classic period, I guess. I don't know, their peak period, whatever you want to call it. I think they're really doing that. Um, Genesis and Doobie Brothers are both kind of changing a little bit. They're changing singers, both kind of changed singers around this time. So their styles are changing a little bit as well, I think. So there's a little bit of change there. We're getting a little more punk rock is starting to come in with the Ramones. So that's going to be a thing. We're going to start getting more punk rock music, I guess you can say. Um, Also, I feel like we're like a year away from like disco probably coming. We're like right on the cusp of disco, is my
We've
feeling.
had a few disco releases, but it's about to get really big.
Yeah. So we're kind of about to get to that disco period. Anyway, so that's just some things I was thinking of. Like, because ABBA is really, this is like the first really big year, I feel like, for ABBA. Maybe, I don't know, Nick would disagree with that, but it feels like ABBA's going to be really big now.
I agree.
Uh,
This is like, well, I'd say their big single was, of course, Waterloo, but I think this was like their first like kind of big album. Well,
yeah.
they've had a couple of. I mean, in Sweden, like most of their albums went number one, but like for US, I think this is when they started really hitting their stride
Oh
on the
yeah,
chart.
they got Dancing Queen this year. That really
Oh,
launched them.
yeah. That's like the biggest song of all time for them, as far as I can
Yeah.
tell.
Hmm.
I mean, Stevie Wonder's he's gonna win
Oh,
his he's going to win his third album of Grammy Album of the Year this year out of 4 years. I mean, he's definitely in his like peak period. Of course, he goes way back in the '60s, but this '70s period is like his biggest period, I would think. Um, and do you know? I think there's only three artists that have won the Grammy Album of the Year 3 times. You know the other two?
For what was it?
That has won 3 Grammy Album of the Years.
Oh, another artist. The only other artist that won 3 Grammy Album of the Years. I'm trying to think. Is it Michael Jackson?
No.
Yeah, no.
One's married. One's gonna get married to Travis Kelce. Actually,
Taylor Swift.
Oh, well,
So it's funny. She was at the Knick game yesterday,
yeah. Well, he's a Cleveland fan. Yeah.
and she's a Knick fan. So
Oh, she is. Oh, okay.
yeah, it must be weird. Like Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. I wonder how they were like in the car afterwards. Like she's probably like, "Hey, my team's up 3-0 against yours."
all I know is you know they had bad blood.
That's good. That's good. I like that.
Frank Sinatra did it in the '60s. So Frank Sinatra, Stevie Wonder, Taylor Swift. Interesting trio. It's like the Beatles didn't do it, of course. The Who didn't.
They only
do it.
had Sgt. Pepper's.
Yeah, they only Sgt. Pepper's. Led Zeppelin didn't do it. Queen didn't do it. I mean, it's like you can go down the list. Elton John didn't do it. It's like no, but Taylor Swift, Stevie Wonder. It's an interesting list of like.
When you look at some
Anyways.
of the Grammys picks for albums of the year, you're like, come on. Like sometimes
Exactly.
the Gram. I've read this in some of the comment sections, where they said the Grammys were not cooking with some of these picks.
Also, I thought it was interesting that the state of Kansas, the city of Chicago, and the city of Boston all put albums out this year. So, really good years for those cities and states, I thought.
Kansas, Chicago, yeah, all good albums too.
All good albums.
Those three, those are good ones.
We also seen the emergence or the debuts of Blondie, Boston, Ramones, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, Heart. Maybe Bob Seger. I don't know if this is the first Bob Seger album.
It's the commercial breakthrough of Bob Seger. Bob Seger's been around since the late '60s with his what's the name of that? Ramblin' Gamblin' Man, I think, was his first like album, but that was a long time ago, like 1969 or something like that.
Yeah, so we got a lot of good debut bands and albums coming out this year as well.
And Alan Parsons Project. That's another debut. Alan Parsons Project.
This was the best-selling album of the year.
I'm not going to argue with that one.
This is second.
Yeah.
So good year for the Eagles.
They're really taking it to the limit there.
I was surprised how many of these I got in my collection, actually. And third, you got this album.
We all know what I think about that album.
I thought it was interesting. Number 5, we got probably one of the most popular live albums, Frampton Comes Alive.
Oh, that's an awesome record. I listened to that for this video.
I was thinking last year we had Kiss had Alive. This year, Frampton Comes Alive. That's.
Do You Feel Like We Do is awesome.
Those are like the two big live albums, aren't they? Like if you put a Mount Rushmore together, you put like Folsom Prison Blues or
Folsom Prison.
Yeah, Live at Leeds. Yeah. At number 7, you got The Best of the Doobies, which I had this album on CD. Best of the Doobies.
I always think it's weird that they have compilations on the list. Like, it's like just have a regular album on the list.
Number 8, we got Chronicle, another album I got here.
Yeah, that's a pretty big one.
Number 9, we got the greatest hits of Linda Ronstadt, which I actually have on vinyl. So,
jeez, how many greatest hits? It's like all hits happens.
It's mostly
That's
greatest hits.
That's exactly what Linda Rodenstadt said about this list. You're no good.
Anyway, sorry. I was surprised how many of these albums I had on my collection in my top 10 greatest selling albums of 76. Anyways, I'm going through all that just to overview of 76. Now we can go on to our list. So we'll start with Nick with his 10 through 6.
All right, my number 10. We're gonna go Black Sabbath once again. Unsurprisingly, I love Black Sabbath. Number 10, Technical Ecstasy. Yes, I know I think this is like one of the most underrated albums.
It's a solid one.
It's so underrated. Well, I'll tell you this. Never Say Die. I think that's the name of the album. The one that they released before Ozzy left.
Yeah.
That one didn't make my list. That won't make the list. But this one, I think it's underrated. I think it's crazy underrated. It's more of a straightforward album compared to their other albums, like more doom and gloom, like Backstreet Kids. Like people listen to like this is Black Sabbath. Like this is besides Ozzy, this is not anything like Black Sabbath. You Won't Change Me. I really enjoy. It's all right. It's great. Gypsy, not to mistake it for the Fleetwood Mac song Gypsy. She's Gone, one of the most I think that song's really underrated. Who sung that song again? I forgot who sung that one.
Probably it's probably Bill Ward.
Yeah, I think Bill Ward sung on it, he did vocals on It's All Right. I knew one of them did it. It's All Right. It's really underrated. She's Gone. That's a song sung by Ozzy, but this doesn't sound anything like Ozzy. It's another ballad. There's a couple ballads on here. Really a great.
I know Hall and Oates. She's Gone.
Yeah.
I know.
Man, Black Sabbath's getting titles from other people.
I know.
Now let's see Hall & Oates write a song called Fairies Wear Boots.
I mean, there's a couple of other ones where it's like Fairies Wear Boots. We got to hear a song.
Where's War Pigs by Hall & Oates?
War Pigs.
I want to hear that version.
Let's hear what.
I think they have War Babies.
Oh, don't get me started on that album.
I actually thought that's it's crazy. I actually kind of like that one. I was surprised. I was expecting to hate the album, but there's a couple of title conundrums with Black Sabbath, especially with their first album. There's one. Let me look it up real quick. Wasp. When are we going to hear Black Sabbath's Wasp? Or a bite? There's a couple where it's like, they just throw random titles out there. But anyways, really great album, very underrated. That's my number 10. Number 9, I'm gonna go with Rocks by Aerosmith. I listened to this album fairly recently.
Okay.
Very, very cool album.
Back in the saddle.
I'm back in saddle again. Last Child is great. The thing I like about this album is it has like this rockin' flow to it that I really, really enjoy. Rats in the Cellar, Combination, Sick as a Dog, Nobody's Fault. Like all of these songs, like reason why it's not any higher is it kind of does kind of blend into itself at some point of the album, but it's such a rockin' album, like very, very heavy, very, very. It's really good. This album and Toys in the Attic are always hand in hand for what my second favorite Aerosmith album is. My favorite's still Draw the Line. I know that's a really weird number one, but that's always been my favorite Aerosmith album, and I really enjoy it.
I feel like every Aerosmith person I hear has a different favorite album.
Depends
That's
on
not a
the
bad
album.
problem. It means they made more than one good album.
Yeah.
Some go with the typical, Toys of the Attic. Yeah, some will go with Rocks or Draw the Line or some of that, and you just never know.
Well, my number 8 is going to be Wings at the Speed of Sound. Yes, gotta get some Paul McCartney in here. And this album is criminally underrated. It's criminally underrated. Whenever I hear Paul McCartney fans talk about Paul McCartney's albums, they talk about Band on the Run, Venus and Mars,
Yeah.
Tug of War, maybe Flowers in the Dirt, but they never talk about this one. They
Mhm.
say, well, it's not one of his better albums, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, really? I'm like, how can you not like an album with Let 'Em In and Silly Love Songs on it? Those two songs alone make it worth going on this list. I know it's weird because it's only 2 songs, but they're so good. And the rest of the album's good too. It's like it really is a band project with this album. It's not, just Paul McCartney and maybe a couple of vocals here and there. It's like a band project.
Yeah.
Denny Lane, Note You Never Wrote. That's a good kind of like eerie kind of. It's a cool like I wouldn't say eerie. It's more like it's like an ambient kind of cool sounding song. She's My Baby. That's a good one. Beware My Love. Why does no one talk about this song? This is like one of the most underrated songs ever. It's so good. That and Why No Junko. Why No Junko, that's a pretty underrated song too.
That's an interesting song, yeah.
I love Silly Love Songs. That's a really great song. Cook of the House, it's definitely my least favorite. It's
Me too.
Linda McCartney.
Hey, Linda can sing a million times better than Yoko Ono at least.
Oh, a million times.
I trust me, I'll take a full album of Linda over Yoko. You know what?
A million times.
I'll say it right here.
And it's just the one song.
It's just
I'll say it
It's
right
not
here.
half of the record. Double
Yeah.
Fantasy.
Yeah, I'll say this right now. Cook of the House is better than anything on Double Fantasy. That Yoko song.
Yes.
Time to Hide. That's a good song too. Must Do Something About It. I don't know who the heck Joe English is, but he sounds
The drummer.
He's the drummer. I've never heard of him before, but he sings almost exactly like Paul McCartney. I'm like, he sounds a lot like McCartney. I'm like, he is so underrated. This song is so underrated. I love this song. Must do something about it. Dun, 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 and I must do something about it. I'm like, why does no one talk about this song? It's so good.
Yeah.
It's a great song. Sand Faring Ann is great. Warm and Beautiful. It's such a good album. It's this album in London Town.
London
London Town.
Yeah, the London album. Yeah.
All right, Clash, your turn to write Band on the Run.
That and London Town are his 2 most underrated albums of the 70s. Number 7, 2112 by Rush. Yes.
Yeah. Figured that
After re-listening to the album, I'm like, yeah, this has to go on the list. It's classic. I have since grown more accustomed to the 80s albums, like the early 80s albums, like from Permanent Waves to Signals. But this is like this is in my top 5, I think. But I think I gotta listen to their albums again more. Of course, 2112 is epic. I don't have to say anything about that. Passions of Bangkok, that's such a it's so silly, but I love it. Twilight Zone is so underrated. Lessons is awesome. Tears is great, and Something for Nothing that used to be like my least favorite on the album, but that's like my second favorite on the album now. It's really good. That's a great album. 2112. My number 6. It was crazy when I made this list. It didn't even make my list, but after listening to it again a few times, and I'm like, you know what? This album's too classic. This album's too great. This has to go up on the list. Number 6, Boston by Boston. Yes,
All
Boston.
right.
Boston made my list.
All right.
Side 1, epic. More Than a Feeling. Peace of Mind. Foreplay. Long Time. Like. Well, it's really 4 songs. I think Foreplay is to me. Foreplay is the instrumental track, and Long Time is to me those 2 are 2 different tracks.
It's kind of
So let's say it's like 4 songs in one side, and then side 2, Rock and Roll Band is great. Smoking is awesome. Hitch a Ride. My 2 favorite songs on the album go back and forth between Hitch a Ride and Something About You. I don't know. I love Something About You. There's something about you.
Those are the 2 hidden gems on that record. Everything else is like a huge radio single.
Yeah.
Those 2 needed to get a little more attention.
Great songs. Let Me Take You Home Tonight. That used to be like the song that I always like. After Something About You, I always took the needle off. But you know what? Let Me Take You Home Tonight. That's been growing on me. That's becoming one of my favorites from them. And you know what? I'm really enjoying it. It's a really great song. It's funny. Ironically, my least favorite song on the album is the one that actually includes all the members in the back of the album, and was recorded in a studio album. It's crazy, but yeah, that's my 10 through 6.
All right, good stuff. I agree with some of that stuff. Some of the stuff, yeah, you'll hear again. All right, Briar, what's your 10 through 6?
All right, number 10 for me of the 85 albums I had to listen to this time.
85. All right.
85. Oof.
Yeah. So number 10, and it's actually one that Nick brought up, and it's going to be 2112 from Rush.
Mhm.
Yep. I mean, Jason said earlier that Rush were starting to be on the rise. Yeah, this is the album. So of course, this album also pretty much saved the band from pretty much breaking up because Crest of Steel really didn't sell that well, and the record label was like, "Hey, can you please write a hit album?" And the band were like, "Should we?
Can you please?
Can you?" And the band was like, "Yeah, we could sell out. But we really want to do what we want to do. So if this is going to be our last album, we're at least going to go out with a bang." And to the record label's shock, this album did really well. Now, this album is the title track for the album often overshadows the second half of the album, which it makes sense because it is a very monumentous, one of the greatest 20+ minute songs that ever been conceived, with a very very engaging story. Of course, showcases the band's musicianship to a T. But the second side is also something not to ignore because, Patches of Bangkok is a nice, good rock song. The Twilight Zone I agree with Nick, is a very underrated song. And as a Twilight fan myself, very up my alley. I really like the references they put into the song.
Okay.
Even though it's not right, but I get it. They have to make it fit, make it rhyme. So anyway, but Lessons is another really good song I really enjoy, and Tears is a nice little acoustic number, has a nice chill vibe to it. That one, I like that quite a bit. And yeah, I really enjoy Something for Nothing. Just probably aside from the title track, probably the heaviest song on here. It's just a really good closing number, really good energy in that one. But yeah, it's definitely up there when it comes to Rush. I would definitely put this in the top 5 for sure. But it's gonna be number 10 on my list for 76. Okay, number 9, and here he is, David Bowie. Station is coming in, and this is I would say this is again another one of my top 5s. I think I've said this is probably my number 2 favorite, and this is the album that introduced the world to one of Bowie's other famous characters, the Thin White Duke. And also his most darkest character, because this is pretty much his cocaine album.
Yeah.
And you read stories about him making this album, and he has no idea what happened.
No memory.
I think his diet at that point was just cocaine, milk, and chili peppers.
Chili peppers. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Were they red hot?
I would assume so. That's why he had to drink the milk.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, it's one of my favorites. I mean, you have the title track, which is 10 minutes long, but it just has a really interesting groove to that one. But I always really found it very intriguing and just very eerie sounding, which I really dig. But besides that, you go into Golden Years, which is kind of like the opposite. It's kind of like this very upbeat, very happy sounding, soulful type of track. Obviously, it was kind of a big hit for him, and it's definitely one of my favorite songs. Definitely one of my favorites of his singles. Then you have the Word on a Winds, just a cool, another good vibe sort of track. And then you have TVC 15, probably the other catchiest song on here. It has a very upbeat, another good upbeat kind of groove to it, which you can't help but kind of sing the chorus a little bit. And then it goes to Stay, which is really nice, and then it closes out with Wild is the Wind, which again, really cool stuff, and a good precursor on what's going to come next. Because of course, the next album, that's the beginning of his Berlin trilogy, where he's really going to be experimenting a lot more. But this is kind of like a little precursor to that. But again, another really good album from Bowie. That's number 9. All right, number 8, and it's probably, and yes, the first album that you can see behind me. Number 8, Steely Dan with The Royal Scam. My favorite Steely Dan album. And
Okay.
it's always has been. I don't know why. I love Asia. I love the debut album, but I don't know. I feel like this album just has a certain bite to it that I really like a lot. Of course, you have songs like Kid Charlemagne, which is probably the biggest song on here, which is again very catchy. Again, really good bass work and some really good guitar work on that one. The Caves of Altamira, which is a nice follow-up song. Don't Take Me Alive is really good. Sign in Stranger is nice. And then you have another one of my favorite songs with the Fez, which is like, what does the Fez mean? Well, well, they are called Steely Dan for a reason. Anyway, if you know, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But again, that's just
You're never
just
gonna do it without the Fez on.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but it's one of the catchiest song on here. I just love that song. Just the groove on that one's great. Then Green Earrings is nice, good track, and Haiti and Divorce is good. And then Everything You Did is another strong song. And then you have another one of my favorite songs with the title track, and that's just like one of my favorite songs from them. It's just got this very brooding vibe to it, which I really love, and it matches the album cover extremely well with this homeless guy and just these like skyscraper like things just staring down, laughing at him. But I think it's a really nice, very ominous way to close out the album. But that's going to be my number 8, The Royal Scam from Steely Dan. Number 7, and this is the first time this band is going to make their appearance, and that's Judas Priest with their second album, Sad Wings of Destiny. One of the coolest covers they ever did, in my opinion. But yeah, this is their second album. They released their first album in '74, and most fans would say their debut, they haven't really found their sound quite yet. They were kind of just doing a blues rock sort of thing. But it's really the second album is where they really start to really hone in on their heavy metal sound. Because they were a lot more confident. You start off with the song "Victim of Changes," which has become one of their most beloved songs, and it really is a good showcase for Rob Halford, who is known as the metal god because of his booming and just high pitched voice that he can put out. But yeah, this Victim of Changes definitely has all the hallmarks. Great twin guitars, good heavy drumming, and again Rob Halford's vocals, like I said, and it goes through many different changes. So you get that changes, but you get like many assets of the band and good showcase on where they're going to be going, especially when we get closer to the 80s. But then you have The Ripper, which is another very notable song, good, very eerie sound, but it's great guitar work nonetheless. Then you have the kind of a 2-in-1, but they're usually separated. We have Dreamer Deceiver, which is this kind of more slower, very almost kind of a ballady sort of thing, but kind of more eerie sounding, but eventually it just kind of bleeds into the next track, which is just called Deceiver, and that's where it really starts to pick up. It gets a lot more faster, and Rob is just really going in probably the highest you can ever hear him sing, which I think is very cool. Then it goes into Prelude, which is pretty decent. Tyrant is another good heavy track, which same thing can be said about the next song, Genocide, just a good heavy song. But then you have probably one of the more interesting songs. There's a song here called Epitaph, which is basically their attempt to sound like Queen, because Rob was a big Queen fan, and so he just went to the studio and just kind of emulated their harmonies, which is some of it works. I don't think it's it's definitely not one of my favorite songs on here, but it's interesting. But it kind of picks it back up with Islands of Domination, which is again going back to the heavy side again. So again, very, very much stronger album. They're going to get even heavier as it goes on, but this is definitely where most fans would say Judas Priest truly found their sound. But that's number 7, and funny enough, at number 6, I'm mirroring Nick here. Number 6 is also going to go to Boston's debut.
Boston.
Yes.
Boston.
But yeah, Boston. But yeah, Boston's debut, I mean, you have to kind of put it on here. I mean, it is one of the quintessential albums of the 70s in general.
Yeah.
Just whenever you think of 70s, this is one of them you're going to think of. And for good reasons. Again, it basically is like their greatest hits in a sense. You have the songs like More Than a Feeling, which goes without saying, that's a classic song. You still hear that on the radio a lot, which you could argue the same thing for the rest of the album. But Peace of Mind, I love Peace of Mind. One of my probably my favorite overall Brad Delp vocal performances is Peace of Mind. Really, his vocals are just absolutely great. Foreplay / Long Time, really cool, like keyboard intro, which is really nice. And then the Long Time's really good rocker. Rock and Roll Band is again nice, good rock song. Smokin's is another classic. Hitch Ride's really good too, and then you have Something About You is really good. I really like that one. And then he closes off with a very pleasant Let Me Take You Home Tonight. So I mean, again, I kind of had to put it on here. It seems like a no-brainer, but only number 6 for me. But there you go.
It's mandatory. You got to put it on the list, or you're out of here. Hey,
Mike.
Mike, how you doing? Guys, it's getting kind of late over there. Past 11 over there. All right, I'm gonna make a couple predictions. One, I'm predicting Boston's gonna be a quadrifecta on the. All 4 of us are gonna have that on our list. That's my prediction right now. The other one is I'm predicting more Judas Priest and Iron Maiden in the future on Brian's list. That's my other prediction.
Oh, if not, then he'd be breaking the law.
All right, Scott, your turn for 10 through 6.
All right. Number 10 is an album that I actually listened to for this video, a more recent discovery, and then I bought it. And that is the debut album from Heart called Dreamboat Annie. Of course, I knew the 2 big singles on here, Crazy on You and Magic Man. Those are fantastic songs, but I didn't hear the whole record. I had high expectations because those 2 songs are so great, and this album did not disappoint. Everything on here was really good. I mean, Magic Man is the song that starts the record.
Yeah.
Starting out with that awesome guitar riff. Great guitar soloing on here as well. Great. There's a keyboard solo on here too, and then it goes without saying that Ann Wilson's vocals are just on another level on this record.
Is she the greatest female rock
She's
singer?
like the female Robert Plant almost. That's
think
what
so.
this sounds like. This album sounds like Led Zeppelin led by women. Almost is how I would describe this album.
She is so good.
She is amazing. In fact, she even sang Stairway to Heaven at
yeah.
I forget what it was. Great. I think it was the Robert Plant
Kennedy
Center
honors. Yeah.
But yeah, Magic Man goes without saying. That one's great. Dreamboat Annie, Fantasy Child is kind of just a little interlude. It's like a theme that comes throughout this album. Crazy on You. Her sister Nancy is the guitar player, and the acoustic guitar intro on Crazy on You is nuts. So this is like Never Going Back Again type level of craziness.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get into that main riff, bow down, 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 bow down, 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 down. A couple of clever key changes in that song too. That's great. Soul of the Sea, Dreamboat Annie, the actual song. It was teased earlier. We have the actual song now. That one's good. White Lightning and Wine, I'll Be Your Song. Sing Child, How Deep It Goes. And then there's another Dreamboat Annie reprise. I'm gonna have to listen to this record a few more times to remember the rest of the songs even more, but the first impressions I had from this record were just so good that I had to put it on there. I don't think this is recency bias either. This record really is that good. That's number 10. Number 9. I have a feeling this record is going to be on most of our lists. We have A Day at the Races by Queen. And by the way, I think all 10 of these records are 10 out of 10 records on this list.
Okay.
I would say so for mine too.
Either that or Heart might be 9.5, but if that's the lowest score we have on this top 10, then that's a pretty good year, because there are some years where maybe one album is a 10 out of 10. some records were like the top record is a 9.5 or something like that. So good year if most, if not all, of the records this year are 10 out of 10. But this is Day at the Races, the big follow up to A Night at the Opera. It's got one of Queen's greatest songs, Somebody to Love, on there. But there's some other good stuff too here. Very similar sound to Night at the Opera. You've got Good Old Fashioned Lover Boy, which is amazing. The Millionaire's Waltz, which is kind of like the spiritual successor to Bohemian Rhapsody. You Take My Breath Away, which is a fantastic ballad with some really cool harmonies and some really cool production on that. You and I is a really underrated song. I like that one a lot. White Man, that's probably the heaviest song on the record. Brian May really is going at it on the guitar on that one.
Yeah.
And then Teo Toriate, which is their love letter to their Japanese fans. So yeah, another awesome record with Day at the Races. You really can't go wrong with Queen. All right, now we got number 8. This is a record that we have reviewed, I want to say semi-recently, but it has been a few months. But Turnstiles by Mr. Billy Joel. Billy Joel is kind of starting his classic run of albums here. I mean, an argument could be made that Piano Man started that, but that's, people know that one more for just the title song.
Yeah.
This is where, like, he starts releasing these albums that are huge, where everyone's buying all the records. New York State of Mind is the big song on this one. I love that song. I love the saxophone playing. I love the piano playing and just kind of the smoky, like, you know, just like bar performer vibe that song has. Say Goodbye to Hollywood is the other big song here. I love that one. I love the drums that kind of emulate the Motown sound and the kind of Phil Spector-ish production on that song. Summer Highland Falls has great piano playing. That's very underrated. This is, if you're a Billy Joel fan and you maybe only know his big hits and are wanting to find some good Billy Joel hidden gems, this is the record you need to listen to, because there are lots of great hidden gems from Billy Joel in this one, like Summer Highland Falls. We already talked about New York State of Mind. James is another hidden gem on here. Cool, like electric piano kind of vibey song. You got Angry Young Man, which has some of the most, what's a good way of putting it, furious, or like the ferocity of his piano playing on that one. It's just, he's like throwing a million notes a minute on Angry Young Man. The intro to that, it's so good. I've Loved These Days is another great song. And then we got Miami 2017, which is about a post-apocalyptic world where the mafia takes over Mexico. It's ridiculous, but it's a great song, and it's probably one of the more rocking Billy Joel songs on this record. So great record here. I love Turnstiles.
Well, that was the first album he kind of got his own band together from New York, I think.
That's kind of
it was more of his sound because he got his own guys in there, I think.
Yeah, that's the first record that he really had full creative control over.
Yeah.
Number 7. This record has been talked about a couple times already, but here it is on my list as well. 2112 by Rush. The first time I heard this, I was like, what is this? The first song is like 20 minutes, but it's like listening to a movie almost. Like, the musicianship on this is just so good. I mean, you got a whole overture that gives you all the themes you're going to hear. It's a story of like a dude who's in like, it's like a dystopian society where creativity is banned, and he finds a guitar and it's like, I can make my own music now. This is going to be so cool. And the powers that be like destroy his guitar and like creativity bad. And so he like is all despair and upset. But as soon as like he's all sad and upset, then like the people who got banned from the society come back and take over or whatever. It's a wacky story, but it's kind of shadowing the story that goes behind the production of this album, which is where the record label told them to sound like Bad Company, and they said, no, we're Rush, we want to do the long songs and the nerdy stuff. And so they were going to make an album that was unapologetically them, and so the story kind of mirrors that. Great guitar playing from Alex Lifeson as well. I love his guitar solo, especially in the section where he goes to the priests of the temples of Syrinx and they're fighting over the guitar. The guitar solo sounds like they're fighting over a guitar. Geddy Lee, this is probably his best vocal performance, period, especially on the Temples of Syrinx section. He hits some really high notes on that. Just insane. His bass playing is always great as well. And then, of course, Mr. Neil Peart on the lyrics and the drums. One of the 5 greatest drummers ever, in my opinion. And his lyrics really help elevate the band as well from being just, I mean, you got stuff like Passage to Bangkok on here that's just about smoking pot, but then other more philosophical things on here due to Neil's lyrics. And speaking of that, we got the second side. Twilight Zone is another great song. I like that one. It's very kind of eerie. The hidden gem on this record for me is Tears. I love that song. It's this beautiful ballad. I think it was written by Geddy Lee as well. Most of the stuff is written by Neil Peart. But Tears is a beautiful ballad that prominently features the Mellotron. So good. And Something for Nothing is an awesome closing track as well. In another less stacked year, this would be my favorite album of the year, but everything else is just so good that it's had to settle at number 7, which is crazy that it's this low. I love this record. But I think repeated listens have made it to where this record is not like at the top of my Rush list anymore. It used to be my number 2 album by them, but repeated listens have brought more attention to stuff like Permanent Waves and stuff like that. So this is not like in my top 2 or 3 Rush albums anymore, but it's still great. And it's going to be at number 7 on 1976. This album was talked about already as well at number 6. Steely Dan's The Royal Scam. This is probably the most, what's a good way of putting it? The most guitar-heavy Steely Dan album, and I don't mean by the guitar sound is heavy, but the fact that Larry Carlton is the guitarist on here, and his guitar is very prominently featured on most of these songs, especially on stuff like Kid Charlemagne, which has one of the greatest guitar solos ever. It's so good. Some funky stuff on here like the Fez, Green Earrings, and then they even throw a shot at the Eagles on this album as well, which is funny on Everything You Did, which is where this couple is arguing and says, "Turn up the Eagles." The neighbors are listening, and of course the Eagles give them a shot back, which we'll talk about later on my list. You got the title song, which has some really cool horns. Don't Take Me Alive, another great guitar song. Just some really good stuff. And I think this is probably my second favorite Steely Dan record after Asia, which we'll talk about Asia another year. But this is a really good record, and if you like good musicianship, if you're a musician, you should probably listen to this record. If you're a musician or if you're a guitar player, then this record will be right up your alley.
It's definitely more into their sound of jazz fusion that you're gonna hear on Asia, whatever.
Oh yeah.
Because I feel like Katie Lai didn't have that much jazz fusion as much, and then
it was more like they were experimenting more with studio musicians with Katie Lai. Like they had like Jeff Porcaro from Toto play on a lot of stuff and a lot of studio musicians. But this is the album where they kind of start dabbling in that jazzy sound.
Yeah, because this and Asia, whatever, big jazz fusion kind of albums, I think.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what's the next one after that. Gaucho.
Oh, Gaucho is just straight up all jazz. That's like they're closest to an actual jazz record. So
yeah,
like
so again, very jazzy. All right, great stuff. Get to my list. I have it on the computer here, so I'm going to look at my computer while I'm doing this. My number 10 is "The Pretender" by Jackson Browne. And this is the second, I think, Jackson Browne album I've had on my top 10, and there's going to be more coming up on my list. Definitely really like Jackson Browne's overall sound. I love the singer-songwriter sound, and of course, this has the one really big hit, "The Pretender," which is an awesome song. It's one of my favorite Jackson Browne songs, and it closes the album. But all the album, I thought was just another solid Jackson Browne album. And I love, like I said, just love his overall sound and his singer songwriter style. But yeah, I like the Fuse, your bright baby blues, here come those tears again, and the only child. I thought were really good stuff by Jackson Brown. A lot of deep cuts from me on this album. So number 9, I got Night Moves by Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band. This is the first time I have Bob Seger in my list, and again, he's another one you're going to see a lot on my list coming up. Seems like every album he puts out is going to either be my top 10 or an honorable mention. Like it's in the running. I really like, again, love his voice. He has this really unique kind of rock voice. I think that so. I mean, you know right away Bob Seger singing. It's like he's just got one of those voices. And this album has 4 big hits on it, which was pretty cool because it's the first one I've really been kind of really got into so far. But the opener, Rock and Roll Never Forgets. What a great rock and roll opener. I love his voice on that. Rock and Roll Never Forgets. Oh, it's so good. Super catchy. The title song, Night Moves, great song. Oh, there it is. Awesome. Uh, yeah, Night Moves, great
Stay tuned
song.
for that pity hole coming up.
Okay, awesome. The Fire Down Below, another great rock song off the album. He really belts it. The fire down. I mean, he's just like really belting out. It's so good. And my favorite song is Main Street. That's another like top 5 like Bob Seger. I love his. So it's funny. He's a great kind of rock upbeat rock singer. I love his ballads even more. Like I love his voice when he does those ballads. And this is one of those more slower songs. And I love the guitar. The guitar is so good in here. And just that down on Main Street, it's like, oh, it's so good. Love that stuff. I would say the rest of the album is okay, but it's not nearly as good as those 4 big hits. It's like those 4 big hits really good. Rest of the album is like, it's pretty good, but like it's not great. So that's why it's not high, not as high on the list, but still gets in number 9 here on my list. Um, Number 8, I'm gonna match with Nick. I got Wings at the Speed of Sound by Wings. This is one that originally didn't make my list, and it's one that I never really thought was that good of a Wings album, except for it has the 2 big hits on it. And then as I re-listened to the album, I kind of went, you know what, this is a good album. I don't know why I didn't like it at first, and I kind of come around to really enjoying this album. And of course, I'm a huge Paul McCartney fan, so I mean, there's no surprise there. I'm gonna enjoy, an album like this. And like Nick said, like I think it's so interesting about this album is this is a real Wings the band album, because this is like the first one where Paul McCartney really was like, all right, everybody's gonna write songs, everybody's gonna like have chances to lead sing. Most of the time it's obviously it's gonna be Paul McCartney writing the songs, and it seems like usually it's Paul McCartney and then like Wings is almost like his backing band, but this is one where it's like we're really making Wings like a band, like a working together band, anyways, which is interesting. Because when you remember Band on the Run, his drummer and his lead guitar player quit right before they started recording that album in Africa, and it was basically just Paul McCartney, Lynn McCartney, and Denny Lane did the whole album in '73. And so then they had to get a new drummer, new lead guitar player. So it's like kind of almost a new lineup almost of Wings. But you still got Danny Lane in there, guitar player. So this album has like I want to say like 2 Danny Lane songs on here. Linda does get her own song. She wrote that "Cook of the House" and gets to sing it. I agree. That was like the one song I didn't like on the album. um, uh, and then I don't know about the lead guitar. He might have had something. I can't remember on top of my mind. Obviously, the 2 big ones are the Paul McCartney songs. "Lit 'Em In." Oh, such a great opener. Definitely one of my favorite. Like, yeah, this period for Paul. Who's that knocking at the door? Oh, it's so good. "Lit 'Em In." He originally wrote this for Ringo. He thought this would be a good Ringo song, but I think as he wrote it, he decided, you know what, I like the song so much, I'm keeping it. So this is almost could have been like it because Ringo always has the other Beatles kind of write songs for him and help him out, and anytime he makes an album, because he's not a prolific songwriter like the other 3 are. So I think it's interesting what in a world where Ringo gets to put this on his album and how that would sound. But yeah, great song. And then Silly Love Songs. That's definitely like top 10. One of my favorite Paul McCartney Wings songs of all time. The bass playing is so good on that album. He's singing and playing bass is so good. The horns is so good. Um, it's just the writing is so good on that too. Just you think I'm gonna write another silly? You're tired of silly love songs? Well, here's a silly love song. It's so good. Like I love it. So catchy. Yeah, like Nick said, those two songs alone makes you like you got to listen to this album because those two are so good. Um, but I really liked "Beware My Love," which I think you mentioned. Must Do Something About It. Yeah, that was an interesting one because Paul McCartney wrote the song and he was going to sing it, and he was singing the song, and the drummer was singing along with him. And he was like, you know what? You have a pretty good voice. Like, you're doing a good job. Why don't you do the lead? Yeah. So the drummer wasn't originally going to get the Joe English, whatever, who wasn't from England. I always thought that's funny. He was from like American, but his name was Joe English. Um, he was like the one non-English person in the band. Everybody else was like from England, and then he had the
It's like
drummer
in ZZ Top where Frank Beard is the only one who doesn't have a
that
beard.
appeared. Yeah, the one guy named English was an American. So, but anyways, but yeah, I thought he did a real good job. I was really pleasantly surprised. Like you said, he did a good job singing the song. I actually really enjoyed that song. And then I thought "Warm and Beautiful" was good. I think that was a closer, nice, like kind of a ballad closer to the album. So yeah, so I'm gonna say I was wrong. This is actually a really good album. I agree with Nick. He definitely one to check out as well. I have someone here talking about Boss Gags.
Oh yeah, he released an album this year.
I'm not familiar with Boss Gags. I've heard the name.
I know he was the original singer for Steve Miller's band before Steve
Oh,
Miller
okay.
started actually singing.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I know the name, but I can't say. I'm sure I've heard of some stuff, but um, all right, number 7, we got "Spirit" by John Denver. Anytime John Denver puts an album out, it's gonna probably be in my top 10. Great run of albums because man, I really love the last one too, "Wind Song," and then obviously the other three before that were all like top. I mean, top songs of the year. And so yeah, this one doesn't have any huge hits on it, but it's another just solid. If you like, folk music, you like kind of easy listening folk style music and John Denver's voice, like man, it's still a pleasant listen. um, yeah, "Come and Let Me Look in Your Eyes." The opener was really good, I think, and then Eli's song, beautiful song. I'm guessing Eli was his son, maybe, because it seems like a song sung to your son, kind of giving advice about life. Really beautiful song. Really enjoyed that. Rainbow Mountain Song, a song about the mountains is so good. And then Like a Sad Song, I think is like the maybe his most well-known song off the album. It sounds like from what I've read, but yeah, another really well written, well sung song. So yeah, again, John Denver comes through again with this album Spirit. And then number 6, I've got Dreamboat Annie by Heart. Man, this was a really good album, and this is the first Hard album on my list as well. Of course, it's a debut album, I guess. That makes sense. I think we talked about this last time. I think it debuted outside the US in 75, but in the US, it debuted this year in 76. So that's why it makes my list here in 76. Um, so you could have put it 75 or 76, I suppose, but I put it here in 76. And um, yeah, I really dig Hart's rock vocals from Ann Wilson, whatever. Man, I think the best like female rock singer there is. And you hear it right away with Magic Man. Yeah, what a good opener. That he's a magic man. Um, yeah, incredible vocals on that. And like I said, the sister is a really good guitar player too. Has some real great guitar playing on there. And then yeah, "Crazy on You," the other hit song. It's so good. As you mentioned. I mean, those two alone. This has got to be like their biggest album because that's like two huge songs from them. I can't imagine a song album being commercially bigger. So I feel like if you're gonna listen to a Heart song, this is definitely like the first one to listen to because you're gonna get and to do this on the debut. I mean, we got some good debuts this year. It's another one. It's like man, like you're putting out some really good stuff on your debut album. I mean, that's incredible. because not everybody does that on their debut album. Um, yeah, I really like Soul of the Sea, Dreamboat Annie, and Love Me Like Music, I'll Be Your Song Again. I thought were also really good songs on this album. So yeah, really good hard album in my opinion. And there's going to be a lot of hard albums coming up too on my list. I really like their future albums as well, into the '80s. So really good. I wouldn't say I say Discovery because I only know their big hits, but really enjoy getting to get through their albums. You know, thanks to doing these lists. So that's my 10 through 6. So now we go back to Nick.
All
5
right.
through 2.
My number 5, I'm going to go with Children of the World by the Bee Gees. I love the Bee Gees. I feel very, very bad that I haven't had a lot of their albums on my list, but it is what it is. But I finally have one on here. This would be my favorite album of the year if they changed one thing. Staying Alive. Well, be a few things. Staying Alive, How Deep Is Your Love, Night Fever, and More Than a Woman. If all 4 of those songs were on this album, this would be my favorite album of the year. No question about it.
Oh yeah, that's a good.
But opening song, You Should Be Dancing. Great start already. Getting you into it. You Stepped Into My Life is great. Love So Right. Great ballad. Lovers, it's pretty good. I like that song. Can't Keep a Good Man Down is good. Boogie Child is really fun, really catchy. It could be funny. Sexy, Boogie Child. Love Me is really good. Subway. Wow, that's a really underrated song. Take it to the subway. Great harmonies. The Way It Was is great. And Children of the World, a great album closer. Very underrated album. I think a lot of people should talk about it more. Number 4, I'm going to go with an album that I'm pretty confident 3 of 4 of us will have on. Well, 3 of 4 of us will have on our list. New World Record by ELO. All the way at number 4. Yes, ELO. Yeah. Great album. Tightrope is a great album opener. Telephone Line is amazing. Oh, great song. If you watch Billy Madison, you'll know why it's great too. Steve Buscemi putting on lipstick.
Yeah.
Rock Arena is great. Mission, parentheses of world records, great. So Fine, Living Thing, Above the Clouds, Do Ya, and Shangri-La. Like, all 9 of these songs flow in so well with each other. Like, I'll say this, like, I think the best stuff on Face the Music and Out of the Blue are better, but overall, as a cohesive album, I'd say I've always thought this was their best album, like, as an album. This album's so good. I'm so mad that I haven't heard this album, like, for a very long time in my life. This is an album where I'm like, man, I should have listened to this album way longer ago, like, when I was first getting into music and collecting records. Well, better late than never. Number 3, Songs in the Key of Life by Stevie Wonder.
There it is.
I mean, yeah, you were expecting this to make my list. Just you weren't knowing where, though. And this album is a masterpiece. It's a double album masterpiece. I could go through all the songs I like on the album, but it's one of those albums where you have to listen to it for yourself and just take it all in. It's about life, you know, being a parent, growing up as a kid, growing up in the ghetto. It's just so much different things about this album that's so intricate and amazing. I'm like, just listen to the album. That's all I got to say. Number 2.
I know it has one big hit on there that I love. There's
a lot of hits.
There's a lot of them on there.
Sir
Duke, I Wish, As.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of which, As is my favorite Stevie Wonder song of all time. Thank you very much. I know it's a basic choice, but I don't care. That song, it's amazing. I'll be loving you always until the day that 8 times 8 is 4. That's a great song. Arrival is my number 2. Come on, guys, you kind of expected ABBA to make.
I knew that was gonna be in there.
This album is so good. It's a fun album. People are like, ABBA's not an albums band. People make fun of ABBA.
Yeah.
As Bryer once said, lighten up. It's such a great album. I love ABBA so much.
How
When I
can you
can,
not smile when you're listening to ABBA, right?
I know, I'm never happy when ABBA's on.
Yeah, how can you be in a bad mood when you listen to ABBA? Just
But When I Kissed the Teacher, weird, a little bit of a weird album opener.
it's
But
a little weird.
who cares? It's ABBA. It's a fun song.
There's how many songs out there about kissing teachers?
Exactly.
I know.
Well, maybe you could argue "Don't Stand So Close to Me" by the Police.
There's a lot of songs about people who have crush on their teachers, but they actually got to kiss the teacher.
Yeah. So Hot for Teacher. Yeah.
Yeah, Don't Stand So Close to Me. Elton John had that one song on his.
Elton John needs a teacher.
Yeah.
But Dancing Queen, I mean, that's an iconic song for
Come
a
on,
reason.
yeah.
It's amazing. You can't not like it. My Love My Life is a great ballad. Dum Dum Diddle. It's a cute song. Dum Dum. A lot of people say it's like one of their worst songs. I'm like,
It's kind of catchy.
it's one of their worst songs. It's like stupid catchy. Like,
It's stupid
again,
catchy.
I'm gonna go back to what Bryer said. Lighten the hell up. It's a fun damn song. It's ABBA, for crying out loud. Who cares? Knowing Me, Knowing You. That and I Do might be my favorite. This might be my new favorite ABBA song. This is a song that I've always been really. It's like a song kind of like "Man in the Mirror" by Michael Jackson. Like, I've liked the song, but I thought it was a little overrated. But the more I listen to it, it just shoots higher and higher in my list.
Yeah.
I love the song. Money, Money, Money. It's another great song. Money, 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 money. Rich man's world. Great song. That's Me. Great kind of proto disco ABBA before they went full into it with Voulez-Vous, which you better believe that's gonna make my list. Voulez-Vous. Why Did It Have to Be Me? Great kind of like rockabilly 50s style song. Great. And what's great about the song? It's the one song sung by Bjorn. I like when it's one.
Yeah.
I don't like when it's like 5-4 songs. Like, I like your voice, but let the ladies sing. Let them take this center stage, and they did a good job at it once they're done with their first 2 albums. Tigers are great. Another, like, it's such an underrated song. I am the tiger. Arrival. I think it's a really great closer. A lot of people are like, but it's an instrumental. I'm like, that's true, but it has such like a climactic end. Like, you reached the end, you have arrived at the end, and it's just, I love the kind of like vocals in the background. It's an epic instrumental in my opinion, and for me, the perfect way to close out on my second favorite album of 1976.
That's funny because to me, like, Songs of Key of Life and Arrival could be your number 1. Like, I mean,
Any
It's
other
a stacked year.
any other year.
Any other year. If it wasn't for one
That's like
artist,
number 1.
Any of these albums could be my favorite album this year. Any other year.
Right.
That's a good one too, Steve. I'm upset
Like
that one didn't
Meagle.
make my list.
That's all right.
It's some decent tunes on it. Yeah, I like that song.
That one also got "Keep on Rocking Me, Baby" and "Take the Money and Run" all on that one album.
Let's see. Heart, awesome. They do a great cover of Led Zeppelin's Battle of Evermore. Cool. I mean, Heart, I can listen to Ann Wilson cover anything, probably. It'd be good.
Yeah.
Hey. Thanks to the commenters. Appreciate you guys. See, I got to see him in Dallas back in the day.
Cool.
Coca-Cola Starplex. You ever hear that?
Did you get to see him come out of the big electronic spaceship that opened up? I know that's what they did
my
in one of
God.
their shows, that they had a full-size replica of their spaceship logo that opened up at the beginning of their concerts that they were inside of.
Hey, teacher, leave them
Another
kids.
teacher
That's,
song.
yeah,
Only
that should be the.
that's more relatable.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Yeah.
Like, that should be the follow up to kissing the teacher. Like, hey, teacher, leave those kids alone. Oh, I was gonna say this is something I was thinking about. Like, I would love to see a double bill of Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers and Heart. I don't know. I just love
The
that idea.
Heartbreakers.
We got Heart and we got the Heartbreakers. It fits.
They won't back down. Or wait, no, that's solo Tom Petty.
That's all, but yeah.
Hey, what's his name? Mike Campbell still play guitar on that record though.
So I wish they had huge organ behind them that took up most of the station. I would love to see ELO live back in the time. Oh my gosh.
I almost had tickets to see them on their farewell tour.
On their farewell tour?
It's not the same, and I sold my tickets. So
I saw they did a concert thing. I saw somewhere on some streaming service like their farewell tour. Oh, it looked really cool. Anyway, sorry. Need to get the Bryer here for it's 5 through 2.
All right. Okay, number 5. It's another album behind me, and it's one you can definitely see. Number 5, Hotel California. Going to my neck of the woods here.
You know about hotels in California, don't you?
Oh yeah, I've stayed at a few of them.
And you have to leave.
Yeah. Well, one time I left California and never again since. Well, actually, no, a few times, but I always came back. But yeah, Hotel California. I mean, the title track alone is worth admission. I mean, it's one of the earliest rock songs I recall ever hearing when I was a young kid, because my mom's a big Eagles fan, and so Hotel California was played a lot, especially on a car radio or stereo. So I always that opening guitar line just is burned into my head. But it's just a classic track. I mean, you still hear it all the time. Great vocals from Don Henley. The guitar work, the guitar solo at the very end, just absolutely iconic. You have Joe Walsh and Don Felder just complementing each other perfectly. And it's the first album with Joe Walsh in the band. Definitely a good introduction there. But yeah, Hotel California, I'm not going to go beyond that. I mean, it speaks for itself. Then we have New Kid in Town. Good, nice little Glenn Frey track. Just kind of definitely has the more of that country side of them, which is still kind of there a little bit, but it's a nice little follow-up song. Always like that one. Life in the Fast Lane, back to a good old rocker. That's another song I heard a lot growing up. I mean, when it came to Eagles, it was Hotel California and Life in the Fast Lane. Those were the two Eagles songs I probably heard the most growing up. But so I've always still loved that song to this day. And then you have a great ballad with Wasted Time, great vocal performance from Don, really good orchestration on that one, which goes into the reprise immediately after, which I get it. It's on a vinyl originally, so it kind of broke it up. But when you have a CD, that doesn't really work anymore.
Oh, yeah, I never thought of that. 'Cause I have the vinyl, so
yeah. But still, it's pretty. Then you have another good rocker with "Victim of Love," probably my least favorite song aside from the reprise, but still I like it. Still another solid rock song. Then you have "Pretty Maids All in a Row." Joe Walsh doing a ballad. You probably think that wouldn't work given his vocal style, but it actually works out pretty good.
Yeah.
I think I even heard Bob Dylan say he really enjoys the song too.
Really? Okay.
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then and after that, you have "Try and Love Again," probably one of the most underrated songs on here. That's a Randy Meisner song. And I love that song. Probably one of my favorite ballads on here. And it's also worth noting, it's the first album with Joe Walsh, but the last album with Randy Meisner before he would leave.
That's why it's like the perfect one
after this.
You got Joe Walsh and Meisner. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But but at least Try and Love Again was a good album for him to go out, him to go out with.
Yeah.
And then finally you have The Last Resort, which is a great closing song. Very emotional one. Another pretty nice little crescendo. But that's going to be number 5.
Trying to picture
Kurt.
Bob Dylan. Joe Walsh, that was really good song. I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be weird. That was interesting. All right, number 4. And it's another one behind me, but it's hard to see it because of the glare. Number 4, Thin Lizzy with Johnny the Fox.
Yeah. Well, we're just talking about this on Album Exchange.
Yep. Stay tuned for the next Album Exchange.
Yep.
But yeah, I've said that this is my favorite album from the band. Of course, they also released another album earlier in the year. That was Jailbreak, which has their
Jailbreak's
biggest
the big
hits.
one, isn't it?
With the boys are, yeah, it is. Had the biggest hit. The Boys Are Back in Town was the big hit. So they wanted to tour that album originally, but because I think the lead singer and bass player Phil Lynott got sick, and so they had to cancel the tour. And so they decided that, well, no, while we're still home, might as well record another album, and that's kind of what they did. And this album didn't do as well as the last one because this one didn't really have a big hit single on it. But I don't know. To me, I've always gravitated towards this one more because I think overall, I think it's a little bit of a stronger album. And you have a little bit more variety on this album, I think. You have the first song, Johnny, which is, again, just a good rock song, just gets you moving. Good guitar riffs because you have 2 lead guitars in this band, and they play off each other really well. And one of my favorite examples of that is on the next song, Rocky, where there's a guitar solo and the guitars are just harmonizing with each other. Just one of my favorite moments on the album is just that little guitar solo. But then you have Borderline, which is when they do a ballad, and again, Thin Lizzy is another one of those bands you don't really expect doing ballads because especially Phil Lynott has a very peculiar vocal, but I think they pull it off really well, and I think it just has a really nice tone to it. Then you have Don't Believe a Word, which is going back to the rock, which is again very cool. The production on this album is also really cool. I really like the sound of this album overall. Fool's Gold, kind of probably one of the more, I guess, more polished song. I could probably see this one being a single as well. I can't remember if it was though. Then you have this is where the Irish starts coming in with Johnny the Fox meet Jimmy the Weed.
That's the weirdest title of the song.
Yep. U2's a big Irish band, but U2 wouldn't make a title like this.
Nope. Trying to think what the most Irish title U2 wrote.
It's like, is this like a children's story? I don't know what this is. Jimmy the Weed. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, not sure actually, but it's still a pretty heavy song, so I still like it. And then you have another good kind of song I kind of see as a single with Old Flame. Again, a nice kind of more catchy sort of song, which contrasts with the next song, which is called Massacre, which you can imagine what that sounds like. And then you have another ballad on here with Sweet Marie, another very soft, very pleasant sounding track. I really like that one too. And then just another good, and then the closing song, it's Boogie Woogie Dance, kind of not the strongest closer I'd say they've had, but it's a solid enough closer. I think it has a good tone, good vibe to end with. But that's gonna be my number 4. Johnny Fox, again, my favorite, and remember what I said now because I'm probably going to say the exact same thing when we get to that album exchange.
Yeah.
And fun fact,
Thin Lizzy had a cover band, would it be called Fat Lizzy?
I don't know. That would be interesting.
If I started a Thin Lizzy cover band, I'd be like
Skinny Elizabeth.
Maybe. And fun fact, Phil Collins is on this album.
Really?
Only on percussion
Okay.
though,
Okay.
and no one really remembers which song he actually played on. But they know he's there.
I mean, he's doing things. He's in Genesis, so I guess that makes sense.
Did
Yeah,
he
and
perform,
Phil
or was
lined
it
up.
just
Yeah.
a trick of the tail?
It's what's a trick.
Yeah, Phil and funny enough, Phil and Phil were good friends. Speaking of Phil, number 3,
Oh,
Trick of the Tail.
we're just talking about it. Trick of the tail.
Yep. I mean, it's my second favorite Genesis album, so it had to be
Okay.
pretty high on this list. And the first album introducing Phil Collins on the lead vocal duty, because Peter Gabriel had quit the band, and so the band didn't know what to do. But then they did many auditions, and then finally they finally thought, Phil, you can sing, right? Let's have you go.
Let's you try.
And Phil was like, okay. And there we go. We got the album. And yeah,
Isn't it
it's just
Splonk or something like that?
that's one of them, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dance on the Volcano. Again, even though Peters left the band, I mean, the reason why they wanted to continue was just to show that they weren't just Peters' backing band. They were still a tour de force as a whole music team here. But Dance on the Volcano, again, really cool way to open the album, very epic sounding. And again, Phil doing a really good job on both doing vocals and the drums on here, which goes to Entangled, another really cool, really dreamlike song, and really cool guitar playing from Steve Hackett, especially on the acoustic guitar. And then that very cool synth playing from Tony Banks, especially towards the end. Then you have Squonk, definitely one of the more rocking songs. They're them basically doing like a Led Zeppelin type of track. But it's good, but again, still got that big drum sound, which is really cool. And Madman Moon, just Tony Banks just doing more of his great keyboard playing, which is really cool. Then you have Robbery, Assault, and Battery, which is, to me, one of the catchiest songs on here. And some of Phil's great drumming. Like, I love this drumming during the whole music section, which sounds like an actual gunfire. Really cool stuff. And then, of course, Ripples. I think we can all say Ripples is definitely
that's the best.
Definitely got to be one of the best songs on here.
Yeah.
I mean, just the emotion this song brings, and definitely Phil's best vocal performance on the album in general. But yeah, there's so much to say about that one, but I'm gonna keep going. Then you have the title track, which was pretty much the main single on here, probably the biggest hit on here. Minor single, but could be a good way to showcase where they're gonna go moving forward. Like give me a little taste on what they're probably going into. Then you close out with an instrumental with Los Endos, and that's Phil showing his jazz side. And even though, again, not crazy about instrumentals, but I will say Los Endos is a really good instrumental.
Okay.
And it was even nice at the very end, they do, you faintly hear Phil recite a little bit of Supper's Ready as like a little nod to Peter, which is, I think, kind of nice, kind of sweet.
Yeah.
But I think Los Endos is a good closing song overall. But that's number 3, Trick of Tail. And then number 2 might be a shock here. Gonna blow people's minds now.
Oh no.
Number 2.
Yeah.
Number
oh my gosh.
2?
Wow. Yeah.
Not number 1?
Number 2.
Yeah, that was
Yep.
our prediction.
know.
Yeah, that was gonna be number 1 for you.
I know. I'm shocked myself. But there's one album that I think emotionally gets me a little bit more.
Okay.
Which I'll show later. But still, this is not to knock on this album. This is still a fantastic album from Queen. I mean, Nick and Scott talked about already, but I mean, there's so many great songs. I mean, you have the big hits like Somebody to Love, which is a classic. Definitely one of my favorites from the band. But still, the rest of the album is also really spectacular with Tie Your Mother Down with a really great guitar riff from Brian May. Then you have You Take My Breath Away, lovely piano ballad from Freddie. Then you have Long Away, Brian May led song, which is really cool. And one of my favorite Queen deep cuts is the Millionaire Waltz. Just absolutely love that one, especially the whole waltz section where Brian's basically playing a waltz, which is really nice. And then of course you have John Deacon providing a song with you and I, really good kind of love song from him. White Man, I agree with Scott. It's definitely the heaviest song on here. It's still really awesome, which juxtaposes with the next song, Good Old Fashioned Lover Boy, which is kind of like this love ditty from Freddie, but I love it. Just a really, really fun little love song right there. And then Drowse, which is a really good underrated Roger Taylor song. That's one of his, I think it was one of his better ones that he both written and performed. Really strong one. And yeah, Deo Toriate, lovely song for their Japanese fans. Definitely a great way to close out the album, especially at the very end where it basically goes full circle in a way. But yeah, number 2 for me, Night Day at the Races.
So Queen doesn't go back to or women. No, you hit Queen 2 years in a row. Actually.
Yeah, I did.
So this breaks the streak.
This broke the streak.
Wow. All right.
Unfortunately.
Let's see. Wings at Speed of Sound had some good ones on it. Cool to see. Type 6 Wings had a couple top hits. At the same time, the Beatles re-release of Got to Get You Into My Life. Okay. That's a good song.
Oh, that must have been when Earth, Wind, and Fire did that.
Oh, they did it. Okay. That's a good song. All right. Great stuff. I'm curious about your number 1 because I know all the other 3 I know are number 1s. I think I got pretty much down. Now I got to think about what yours is. All right.
I have a guess, but it's only because it's the only record behind him that he hadn't talked about yet that I may be wrong.
All right. Scott, you're 5 through 2.
All right. Number 5. This one's already been talked about as well, but every one of these albums could be number 1. Now we're getting into just like the best stuff. Any other year, this would have been number 1. Songs in the Key of Life by Stevie Wonder. This is a masterpiece in every sense of the word. And Stevie Wonder has already had some masterpieces in the past, Talking Book, Intervisions, but this one tops them all. This is Stevie Wonder's magnum opus. It's so good. All of the songs on here are just fantastic. Starting out with Love's in Need of Love Today. I love that. I love the... he kind of like harmonizes with himself, which is really cool. Village Ghetto Land is interesting because it's like a Baroque sounding song, but all of the orchestra is done on synthesizers, which is super cool. Contusion is an instrumental song that sounds like a Mario Kart track almost, but Stevie Wonder did it first. It's got some really good, like the bass playing on this whole record is great. I don't know who the bass player is. I don't think it was Stevie himself. Sometimes he plays all of the song or all of the instruments on a song, but I don't think that was him. I know he plays all the keyboards on this record. Sir Duke, the song that introduced me to Stevie Wonder, that song is amazing. I love the horn section on that, and I love how it kind of name drops some of the biggest names in jazz music. Count Basie, Glenn Miller, Louis Armstrong, Duke Ellington, Ella Fitzgerald, just like some of the biggest names in jazz music he drops here is talking about some of the pioneers of music, people he looked up to, talking about how music just brings joy to everyone. I love that song. And it's not even my favorite song on the record. There's another song I like even better. It's Not I Wish. That's like probably my third favorite song on this record, though. That one's got the best bass playing on the whole record. Oh, I love the bass playing on that. I love the horns. I wish those days could come back once more. And there's some parts where the bass goes up real high where he's playing that and it's like this is doing a slide up to this really high note and you're like, oh, that's so good. Pastime Paradise, the song didn't really get a lot of traction when it was originally released, but it kind of got more traction later on when Coolio interpolated it into Gangsta's Paradise, but Stevie Wonder wrote the song. Summer Soft and Ordinary Pain is amazing. I forget the name. Who was it? Jason, that you said there was someone that you discovered. Minnie Riperton, I think was her name.
Yeah,
She does vocals on Ordinary Pain, and they're fantastic.
Okay, yeah, she's
She
great.
just sings her heart out on that song. That's great. We got "Isn't She Lovely," which is a little ditty written about Stevie Wonder's child. That's a great song. And my favorite song on this record is "As." Nick said was his favorite too, and then it was playing at a restaurant I went to recently, and I got so excited whenever it started playing. I'm like, oh my gosh, they're playing Stevie Wonder here. But that song is just a masterpiece. And then I guess you'd call it the technical closer, Another Star, is really good as well. But there's an extra EP. So it's a double album plus an EP. It comes with an EP too, but it's called a something extra. So I don't know if it's technically considered part of the album or if it's just an extra EP. I kind of consider it just like an extra EP, but all the songs on the extra EP are good too. My copy thankfully does have the EP with it. Saturn, Ebony Eyes, All Day Sucker, and Easy Going Evening are all really good. But this is Stevie Wonder had already won 2 years in a row actually for 1970. I think 1973 and 1974 Album of the Year at the Grammys. He took a year off, and we had Paul Simon saying his famous, "I'd like to thank Stevie Wonder for not releasing an album this year." So that Still Crazy After All These Years won. But this one Album of the Year as well, and I'm not going to argue with the Grammys on that one. It deserves to be Album of the Year. It's just I have 4 personal favorites that I like better, but that if you were to tell me that's the best album of 76, I wouldn't argue with that.
What's the best out of the 3? Is it this one?
Yeah, definitely. This is my favorite Stevie Wonder album.
I feel like this is the best out of the 3.
And it's another one of those double albums where you don't feel like there's any like wasted moments. Some double albums you're like, man, they could have made this a single album and it'd have been even better. This one, no. Like every song on there has its place on it. Number 4 for me is going to be, and you can kind of see it behind, not Phil Collins, but there, you can barely see it. You can see it behind Bryer more prominently. Hotel California by the Eagles.
All right.
This is for me the definitive Eagles release, the definitive Eagles lineup with Don Henley, Glenn Frey, Brandy Meisner, Don Felder, and Joe Walsh. That's what if people were to ask who are the Eagles, that's what I'd say, and I'd point them to this record here. This is the first one with Joe Walsh in it, and he fits the band just so well. The band is already kind of moving. They'd already been kind of moving away from their breezy country rock sound with One of These Nights. This is where they're kind of full force going with their new sound. I mean, they still have some songs that are kind of reminiscent of their old sound, but they're really embracing their new sound here. And you can hear that on the title song as soon as it starts, which I'm not going to be able to sing or imitate any portion of this record because Don Henley will copyright strike it. So I'm only going to be able to talk about it, sadly. But Hotel California, the song, very basic choice, but it is my favorite song by the Eagles. It's one of the biggest reasons that I wanted to learn how to play the guitar because of that awesome dueling guitar outro with Don Felder and Joe Walsh, especially that thing they do at the end where they're doing the arpeggios, the please don't copyright me, but the da 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 da. And in college, I met someone who knew how to play guitar, and I showed him, like, I had an Eagles guitar book, and we played the solo, and it was I felt so cool playing that, and I'd always wanted to play it with someone else.
That would be awesome.
It was like one of the coolest moments of my life, getting to play, especially doing, I have it on video, and I rewatched it recently, and like just the look on my face whenever we got to the da 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 da, I was just like, this is so cool. The rest of the song is really good as well, though. There are so many guitar layers to this song. There's like at least 7 guitar parts on this album or on this song. Even just one of them just going. There's like 2 acoustic guitars, and a 12-string and a 6-string. And there's all these little guitar licks in there, like bow, 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 all these harmonized guitars. And of course, Randy Meisner's bass line is really good as well. Don Henley has a solid groove on the drums. And I've always loved, like, there's this one part where they just sing a line, and then there's like this, the conga drums just go, you hear the conga drums do that. Oh, and what's even crazier is I didn't like this song the first time I heard it.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, they just sing for a few minutes and it's a bunch of guitar playing. Boy, was I wrong about that. That song is awesome. New Kid in Town. Oh, that song is amazing as well. That was kind of a song that I slept on. So when I first bought records, one of the first records I bought the Eagles' Greatest Hits 1 and 2. It came with both records, and I would play 1 way more than 2. I was like, well, 2 has Hotel California, but that's the only song I like. Now it's the opposite. I'm kind of gravitating more towards their later period stuff now. New Kid in Town, I'd heard it, but I had seriously overlooked it. That song is so good. I like the harmonies on that song. I like the keyboard. It's just like a breezy, fun, easygoing song. I really like it. Good storytelling. You get Life in the Fast Lane, which is where Joe Walsh gets to show his guitar skills, which is funny because that riff is just something that he was playing in the studio as a warm-up exercise, and
Yeah.
Don Henley or Glenn Frey must have heard him doing it and said, we're going to make that into a song. But that song is really good. Great guitar riff. Wasted Time is a really good ballad. Throwing in the piano, and there's like an orchestra behind them, which is really cool. You got Victim of Love, which I actually really like that song. I think it's really cool. It's a great rocking song. I don't have the track listing, so I don't know which one comes first. I know there's Pretty Maids All in a Row, and there's Try and Love Again, but I don't remember which one comes first. I'll just talk about both of them. Pretty Maids All in a Row is Joe Walsh doing a ballad, which is weird because Joe Walsh only really contributes 2 songs during the Eagles' original run. This one, and then, of course, In the City. In the City is more popular, but I really like this one. I'm surprised how well his voice lends to a ballad, because usually he's got like the kind of funny guy, like, you know, prankster. I like to call it like a prankster rock. Like, if you hear Life's Been Good, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's a great song that was released shortly after this album came out. But Joe Walsh's ballad is really good. Randy Meisner writes Try and Love Again. That's one of the most underrated songs on this album. I love that one. I love the vocals on that. That's actually probably my second favorite Randy Meisner song after Take It to the Limit, actually. I really like this song. Although it's funny, I was listening to this song when I almost got in a car wreck, so it has mixed memories, but I still really love it. I was driving to Oklahoma, and I was trying to see if I could listen to see how many Eagles albums I could get through in one day. And I got up to Hotel California, and it was playing this song, and everyone made a quick stop, and I swerved off to the left and lost my mirror. My left mirror that I had to get replaced while I was listening. So I listened to the song, reminds me of that, but it also reminds me it's a good song. So I have kind of mixed memories with it. And then you got Last Resort to close the album off. That's something we haven't talked about yet. 1976 was the 200th anniversary of America.
Yeah.
So
Right.
big celebration that year. And this Last Resort is kind of Don Henley's words to comment on the 200th anniversary of America. And he's basically saying, if we don't clean up our act, then we ain't going to have nowhere to go, because when we discovered America, it was discovering new land. They called it paradise, but then we came and we took it over from the natives and kind of ruined it. And if we don't clean up our act, we ain't going to have nowhere else to go. So we gotta learn to get along together is kind of what he's saying with that song. But that's Hotel California at 4.
Yeah, so all these albums are 50 years old.
Yeah, everything is 50 years old this year.
I forgot about that until you said that. I was like, oh, wait a minute. These are all 50th anniversary albums. That's kind of cool.
That's crazy. That's crazy, especially the fact that I'm just like I'm holding something that's 50 years old, and it still plays really well. These things are meant to last.
Yeah. Oh, great. I mean, this is such a great year for great albums that are turning 50, for sure.
Number 3, the Electric Light Orchestra, New World Record. I'm gonna totally jump on the love train for this album. This record is awesome. Jeff Lynne is a musical genius.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they've already had a great album in the past with Face the Music.
Face the Music was great.
That's another great album. I like this one even more.
Mm-hmm.
Every song on here is amazing. The idea of mixing rock and roll music with an orchestra, love that idea. The songwriting is all amazing. You start off with Tightrope, which just has this ominous, like creepy sounding opening with like the choir just going like, ooh. And you're just like, what is this? And then the strings just go like right into the guitar. I love that song. It's so epic sounding. My favorite song on this record is Telephone Line. I love it so much. It's like a doo-wop throwback. In the beginning, sounds like he's actually singing through a telephone, which is really cool. But I love the harmonies on the chorus with that doo-wop, doo-me-doo-doo-wop, doo-wop away. I look into the sky, and then I'm gonna come and telephone line. Give me some time, living in twilight. Oh, I love it so much. Rock Aria is an interesting song. That's lyrically about a guy who likes rock and roll and a girl who likes classical music, but they fall in love. And so you get all these references to rock and roll and classical composers with an opera singer. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's right.
Mission, a world record, is like about aliens who come to scout out Earth, which is cool. There's some like trippy sound effects, including a police siren, which the first time I ever listened to this album was in the car, and I thought that there was an actual police officer behind me, and then I realized, oh, that's in the song. Then you got the second side of this record, So Fine. That's such a happy sounding song with great chorus with the I want it so fine. Boom, woo. Woo! And the bass. Oh, I love that. That's kind of got a disco vibe to it. And what I love is I love the transition between So Fine and Living Thing, where at the end it's just like, you know, it's like the song is just like falling out, and then the strings come in, that little violin solo. Oh, Living Thing, I love that song too. I'm taking a dive. Bah. It's a living thing. It's a terrible thing to lose. Oh, I love that. So catchy.
Oh yeah.
Above the Clouds is probably my least favorite song on this album. It's a very short song. It's kind of a more spacey, vibey sounding, like I would say dreamy is a good way to describe Above the Clouds. It's like a little, like very short, just like ethereal, dreamy sounding song. And then you got the big rocker on this one, Do Ya? That song is awesome. Which, it's funny, that song actually dates back to when ELO was The Move. They had recorded that song with, what's his name, Roy Wood, and released it as a single, and it never went anywhere. Apparently there was another band who was covering Do Ya, and Jeff Lynne thought, why are they getting all the attention with the cover of this song? We're the ones who wrote it. The story behind this song is fascinating. They're like, we're going to have to cover ourselves to prove we're better than this other band, and so they make this version of Do Ya, which becomes the definitive version. It's an interesting history with Do Ya, but the guitar riff is awesome with that ba ba na ba meow ba ba na ba. Do you want my love? And the hooks on this record are just so good, and then when you mix that with the
instrument,
the awesome production choices where you have an orchestra and sometimes a choir will just show up out of nowhere, like at the end of this song. Awesome song. And then Shangri-La is a really cool closer. The guitar riff is taken from another song. I forget the name of it, but it's like a really, really old song. I think it's called Sleepwalker or something like that. It's the they took the guitar riff from that song and kind of wrote a different song off of it. But it's another ethereal, dreamy sounding song. But this one I think is a lot better. And I love at the end where the opera singer from Rock Aria comes back and sings like "I Will Return," and there's an epic fade out. There's also a Beatles reference on this song where he says, "My Shangri-La has gone away. It's fading like the Beatles on Hey Jude." And then somebody goes, "Judy, Judy." I love that. It's so good. Yeah. But yeah, number 3, New World Record by Electric Light Orchestra. Number 2, Trick of the Tail by Genesis. I love this record. This is my favorite Genesis record. If you've watched any of our channels before, you know that I'm kind of more in the Phil Collins camp, even though I love everything that this band has released, solo and band included, except for Calling All Stations. That album just sucks. But
yeah.
anything Genesis released, anything Phil Collins released, anything Peter Gabriel released, really good. This is my favorite of all of it. It was the first time Phil Collins got a chance to sing, and it kind of takes the musicality of early Genesis and combines it with the incredible vocals of Phil Collins. And that's what I really like about it, is it's still musically rich and adventurous while still at the same time kind of bringing Phil's angle of the band in more. And it's kind of the perfect blend between the two. This is also one of the only Genesis albums that nobody argues about. That both the Phil Collins and the Peter Gabriel people both like this album. So it's a safe option to pick as your favorite as well. Even though, again, I like everything they were. I was listening to Invisible Touch earlier today. So Dance on a Volcano. Man, that's a weird song, but like it is so cool. You start out with Steve Hackett doing that guitar riff, that boom, 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 and it's like it just changes time signatures like 3 times just in the first like 10 seconds. And the drumming, this album has some of the best drumming ever. The drumming on this is epic. Tony Banks's keyboard playing, and most of the song is in. Well, some of the song is in 7, some of it is in I don't even know. Like you. It's almost impossible to count the time signature on Dance on a Volcano. It's just so wacky, and it just speeds up at the end. Awesome song. Entangled is a great ballad with some great guitar playing from Steve Hackett, some more like acoustic stuff. Really cool Mellotron outro, kind of taking a shot at psychiatrists and how they overcharge people for mental problems. Squonk has awesome drumming. That song is great. Good guitar playing. Madman Moon. Oh my gosh, that song is awesome. I love the keyboard playing on there. Tony Banks' layers of both acoustic piano and synthesizer are just awesome. And I love how the song kind of goes through several different sections. It's quiet at the beginning, and then it speeds up, and then, gets to the ballad again at the end. And there's a section that's like just the piano with so many different layers where it's just like do 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 do. This very musically adventurous. You get Robbery, Assault, and Battery, which is kind of a funny song where Phil Collins really brings out a Cockney accent, telling the story about a robber, which is it's funny, especially how like he sings it. Sorry, I'm kind of losing my voice there. But that song is awesome. I love the drumming. I love the keyboard playing on that. Ripples is a very personal song for me. That is my favorite Genesis song, period. Cool. Everything about that song is just perfect. I love the section in the middle where the Steve Hackett's guitar, he uses like a volume pedal to create these ethereal sounds that mixes so well with Tony Banks's keyboards. And of course, Phil's vocals are amazing on this as well. It's a ballad. The bass playing from Mike Rutherford is great as well. Everything is just perfect about this song. Beautiful soundscapes. Trick of the Tail, the title song, it's kind of a funny song about a magical creature who leaves his home in the City of Gold to go find the world and realizes the world is messed up and decides to go home. And the end, titled Los Endos, is Phil Collins getting to do a jazz fusion song and really showcasing his drumming skills. So, really awesome album. Much like I said with Rush, if you are a musician, then you need to listen to this record because it's a very musically rich record. And Phil Collins is just amazing. You can see that I have his solo album, But Seriously, behind me right here. So
I think Phil Collins even started like a jazz fusion band, kind of a side band as well.
he did Brand X.
Yeah. Mentioned Queen on Highlander. Yeah. Love the Highlander music, which comes off of the Magic album. What's it called?
Kind of magic.
Yeah, kind of Magic.
It's
Yeah,
a kind of magic.
that has some great stuff on it. Princes of the Universe. Someone saying, "Hey, hey,
Hello.
thank you, everybody." Yes, we are talking about 1976 albums.
The goat of music, in my opinion.
Yes, yeah. Feel free to. What's your favorite albums of '76? Whatever you want to do. Appreciate you guys. All right. So for me, number 5, ABBA has arrived with Arrival. Yeah, this is definitely like one of those must ABBA albums. Like, and at first when I listened to it, I thought it was like okay, but I didn't have it very high on my list. And then I re-listened it to yesterday, and I put it all the way number 5. I was like, what am I thinking? This definitely is like a top 5 album. I mean, you got Dancing Queen, and the other big one was Knowing You, Knowing Me, which I think is my favorite song on the album, actually. And that's crazy because Dancing Queen is so good, but man, when I listen to that, Knowing Me, Knowing You, oh, it's so darn catchy. I really love that song. Um, but yeah, as I'm listening to it, man, it's just another solid, yeah, ABBA album. And I really like Ring Ring, the first one, but yeah, I'm kind of on board probably with everybody. Yeah, this is definitely one of the first like big ones. Because this is the first one to make my list so far. And you're gonna see. I know the next 2 I think are gonna make my list as well, if I remember right. I know there's like 2 more coming up that are also really good ABBA albums. So really cool there. Yeah, When I Kiss a Teacher, I thought it was a pretty good song. A little weird, like you said. I kept thinking the next song is The Teacher's in Jail. I don't know what's the next song after that. Like what's the follow-up to that. My Love My Life I thought was pretty good. um and That's Me I thought was really good as well. Those are just some of the highlights, but yeah, overall solid album. All right, number 4. Now we got some albums actually I actually own. We got Boston by Boston, number 4. Yeah, 3 of us so far have mentioned this album, I believe. So I'm with everybody. Typical, like Bryer said, you have to have this on your list. How can you not have Boston on your list? It's like one of those must. I think anytime I see anybody's list, this album's on the list. I mean, it's hard to. It seems like one of those almost everybody agrees with across the line, or whatever kind of genre of music you like. And it's just an incredible debut that has so many hit songs on it. It's crazy how many hits. And I know Scott has more information about this album, but um, from what I heard, the lead singer, I think he'd been working on this album since the early '70s or something like that. That's again, Scott might say more about that. Um, but so it's kind of interesting history on that. But I mean, More Than a Feeling, that's definitely my favorite Boston song, and it's one of the best songs of the '70s. I mean, come on, that's like in your best. That's on my '70s playlist, 100%. I've heard that song so many times and never get tired of it. Um, yeah, incredible opener. But like everybody said, Peace of Mind, Foreplay, Long Time, and Let Me Take You Home Tonight. A great closer. This an album we can put in that list of great opener closers? I mean, can we put this along with Who's Next and Escape, and I forget what other ones we have, but I know we had all these albums we talk about that like killer opener closer. I mean, come on. I especially love it because it's it's the last song. and it's talking about taking you home. It's great. It's so catchy. Yeah. So yeah, Boston, great album. Like I said, this is definitely these top four are definitely 10 out of 10 albums for me. Any of them could be number one, like Scott said. These all, I feel like these all should be number one, but they can't be. All right, another album I feel like is a mandatory album is this one, Day at the Races. It feels like this is another one's like, how do you not have this on your top 10? Like it's another just killer, no pun intended, killer Queen album. Sorry, I didn't mean to say it. I caught
It's a
myself. I
killer.
was like, I shouldn't have said it that way, but that's the way it came out. It's a killer Queen album. I mean, Night at the Opera. Seems like such a uh, great follow up to Night at the Opera. It's like if you like Night at the Opera, this is so good as well. As everybody said, I mean, it has one really huge song on here. I would say Somebody to Love's only really hit song that I can think of, that you hear on the radio, and it's a top five best Queen song though. So it's one of their all time best. I mean, Freddie's vocals, the piano, the acapella at the end when they're doing that. Find somebody to love as it crescendos. Especially, I love watching Roger Taylor sing the high. He sings like the really high octave, and he's playing the drums at the same time, and he's singing into the mic. I love it. I'm like, how is he doing that? Like, I'm just thinking, like, man, Roger Taylor, Phil Collins, Don Henley, whatever. Like, man, all playing really good drums and singing. I'm impressed, like how they do that. Maybe the three of some of the best drummer singers. I don't know. Two of them definitely. I don't know about Roger Taylor, but two of them are definitely like one of the great drummer singers of all time. But I really love the deep cuts on here. Like we mentioned, You Take Your Breath Away, great ballad. Long Away, I think, is a really good song on here. I really like that by Brian May. And I really like the closer, Tia Toretta, Let's Clean Together, I think is a good, really good deep cut on here as well. So it's one of those things where the deep cuts really carry this album with the one huge hit. And there's other songs on here. I just mentioned some of my favorites, but there's so many good stuff on here. Obviously, it's at number 3 for a reason. Number 2, again, I'm just capping what everybody said already, because all these albums everybody's talked about. That's probably when you go last. You're just like, yeah, I agree. But yeah, A New World Record is my favorite Electric Light Orchestra album. Um, this was kind of like intro into ELO, in fact, because I remember I heard of them, but didn't really know, and I didn't know I knew them. But then when I found out what songs they sang, I go, "Oh yeah, I've heard of Evil Woman. I've heard of uh, what's it called
Don't
off
bring
the
me
last
down.
Don't Bring Me Down." Yeah, I was like, "Yeah, I've heard those songs." I'm like, "Okay, I guess I know ELO." I didn't realize who they were yet, and then someone mentioned this album, the New World Record, one time, and so I listened to it because someone like recommended it. And yeah, I was like, holy cow, this is so good. Like, how did I not know, these songs? The biggest one, Telephone Line, that's my favorite ELO song. And that's one where I'm like, oh, how is this not like the biggest hit ever? Like, this is so good. Like you said, that doo-wop sound, the harmonies are amazing. It's super catchy. As soon as I heard that song, I was like, this song, I just couldn't stop hearing it. It was so good. And that's what got me really into listening more to ELO. And the more I listen to them, more I'm really loving ELO. But this has three of their best songs, in my opinion. I mean, it has a lot of great songs, but the three that are like definitely top 10 for me is like Tightrope. What an amazing opener. I love the dramatic music. It's such a great intro with the dramatic music and then kicking into that rock guitar. Oh, it's so good. And then the other one's Living Thing. That is such an amazing song. Like I watch a lot of reactions to that, and people always are amazed by it because I love the orchestra. I love the live version with orchestra playing behind them. It's so fun to watch with that. Yeah, it's the living thing. Like whatever that violin part is so cool. So catchy. It's one of those things where it's like the orchestra music, the production, like I said, is so amazing. Plus, it's so catchy. The music's so catchy. Plus, great harmonies, great melodies. I mean, it's amazing. But there's so much good stuff on here. Rockeria, So Fine, Do Ya, Shangri La. I mean, they're all just amazing after amazing song. This album should be number one. It's like it was so hard picking between this and my number one. I went back and forth. I was like, oh, this is such. I love this album so much, and yet, like you said, this album this year is so good. This top four is so good that I was like, I had to go with another album for number one. But man, this is so deserving of a number one spot. I mean, and uh, interesting that Nick had it four, I think. Scott had three, and I had two. So yeah, we all had it right in a row on our list, basically. But yeah, that's my 5 through 2. So next, we're going to go around before we do our number one and talk about some honorable mentions and if you have a dishonorable mention of an album.
All right. So honorable mentions for me, 33 and a half by 33 and three quarter or whatever. Hey, however you say it by
By George Harrison.
George Harrison.
Yeah.
Presents by Led Zeppelin. Agents of
Hey,
Fortune.
Led Zeppelin.
Yep. Agents of Fortune by Blue Oyster Cult. Station to Station by David Bowie. And the one I really wanted on my list but couldn't put it on there, Trigger the Tail by Genesis. That would be like 11 for me.
That is a surprise. And I thought I'd hear more Station to Station from everybody. That's the other surprise for me.
Recency bias.
Yeah.
I don't even think it's my favorite Bowie record anymore. I think Heroes is starting to raise in the ranks of David Bowie albums for me.
Okay.
Or even Let's Dance, like basic choice, but Let's Dance is starting to seem more like my favorite Bowie record now.
Heroes is the name of the album?
Yeah, Heroes and Let's Dance are the two that I find myself going back to.
Oh yeah. I don't know for sure. I know.
It's the second album in his Berlin trilogy.
I forgot that was the name of the album.
That's probably my favorite David Bowie song is Heroes.
Yeah, it's a great album.
Either that or Life on Mars. Those are my two favorites.
Oh yeah. Life on Mars. Yeah, it's a great song. As far as other honorable mentions are concerned, you guys, I could just say the albums that you guys had on your
that we mentioned.
A lot of these albums that I really enjoy, but couldn't make my list. My dishonorable mention, Black and Blue by the Rolling Stones.
Oh, good pick.
It's not exactly a terrible album. There's some songs I enjoy, like Hot Stuff is like, it's one of those so bad it's good kind of songs. Hand of Fate is I enjoy that song. Memory Motel and Fool to Cry are really great songs. Negrita actually grew on me a little. Still, it's like an okay song. But there are two songs on this album that I really just absolutely despise. First off, Melody. Oh, bad. Melody. It's like a singing melody. I'm like, it's like that. What feels like 10 minutes of it. Like, it's like 6 minutes, but it feels like it's like 10 minutes. Oh, it's so bad. But the worst of all, Cherry O Baby. Cherry O Baby. That's not good. Oh, we yeah.
Don't let the Stones touch reggae again.
Yeah.
To be fair, they've done a couple of decent reggae. I mean, I like Luxury. That's a pretty decent reggae Rolling Stone song. I like that one, but Cherry O Baby, no. And the worst one might be Feel On Baby. That's even worse on the Undercover album.
I forgot about that one.
Feel On Baby. Feel On Baby. I'm like, oh, it's so bad. But yeah, I'd say 2 out of 3 of the reggae songs are just ultimate bull crap.
It's the opposite of Meatloaf. 2 out of 3 are bad.
But yeah, that's gonna be my dishonorable mention. That'll be it for me.
All right, Bryer, you've talked about 9 of your 85 albums. You got 70, 70 honorable mentions.
Yes.
It's a good year, all right.
Yeah. All right, here we go. I get through this quickly. All right. 10TC, How Dare You? ABBA, Arrival. Aerosmith, Rocks. Alan Parsons Project, Tales of Mystery and Imagination. Al Stewart's Year of the Cat.
Year of the Cat.
Ambrosia, Somewhere I've Never Traveled.
Okay.
Bad Company, Run with the Pack. Bebop Deluxe, Sunburst Finish. Bee Gees, Children of the World. Billy Joel, Turnstiles. Blondie with their first album. Blue Oyster Cult, Agent of Fortune. Bob Dylan, Desire. Bob Seger, yep, Night Moves,
Night
and also
Moves.
his live album, Live Bullet.
Oh, okay.
Turn the page.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, someone mentioned Boz Skaggs in the chats. Yeah, Silk Degrees, that's also an honorable mention.
Oh, okay.
And then Scott mentioned Brand X. Yep, I have that one too.
Really? Okay.
Camel, yeah. After that, we have Camel, Mood Madness,
Camel.
Chicago 10, Earth, Wind, and Fire, Spirit. That was a blind buy for that one.
I had a different Spirit on my list.
And no,
John Denver.
yeah. And sadly, no. New World Records, not number one. It's honorable mention. And
oh man.
Yeah. Then Genesis, they also released Wind and Wuthering same year.
I forgot.
Yeah. Gentle Giant interview, Goblin with Roller. Jethro Tull, Too Old to Rock and Roll. Joni Mitchell, Hijira.
Oh, Hijira, yeah.
I even have Journey, Look into the Future. That was an okay album. Kansas, Left Overture.
Yep, Left Overture, that's right.
Yeah, and then Kiss released 2 albums with Destroyer and Rock and Roll Over. Same with Lynyrd Skynyrd, released Give Me Back My Bullets, and they also released their live album, One More for the Road. Montrose, Jump on It. Mott, Shouting and Pointing. I don't have, well, we mentioned Paul McCartney and Wings. I don't own that album, so I couldn't put it in. But I do own the live album, Wings Over America.
Yes, I forgot to say that. That's a good live album.
Yeah. And then I also have Peter Frampton. Frampton Comes Alive as well. The Ramones with their first album. Rod Stewart, A Night on the Town. And then I know I mentioned Rush before, but they also released a live album the same year, All the World's a Stage.
Oh, that's a big one too.
Yeah. Then we have Scorpions with Virgin Killer. Don't Google the album cover.
I think they changed it for the second pressings. I don't even know what it is, but I know they changed
it. They do. Don't look up the original.
Okay.
All right. Slade, Nobody's Fool. And then I also got Stevie Wonder, Songs in the Key of Life.
Oh, all right.
Styx, Crystal Ball, the first with Tommy Shaw in the band. And then after that, Ted Nugent with Free for All, with fun facts, with a pre-Bad Outta Hell Meatloaf on vocals.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then the Babies with their first album.
Babies.
Yeah. The Doobie Brothers, Taking It to the Streets.
Yeah.
The Runaways with their first album.
Yeah, that's right.
And then, of course, I mentioned Thin Lizzy with Jailbreak. Gotta mention that one. Tommy Bolin, Private Eyes. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers with their first album. Yeah. UFO, No Heavy Petting. And Uriah Heep, High and Mighty. Venograph Generator, releasing 2 albums with World Record and Still Life. Weather Report with Black Market. Then Wishbone Ash with Locked In and New England. And last honorable mention, ZZ Top with Tejas.
All right. Wow.
And yeah. And now my dishonorable mention. Now I couldn't really rant about it in the last episode because of reasons, but rest goes to Schurz. That same band is back. Tangerine Dream, Stratosphere. Basically, I mean, if you remember, I mean, I couldn't say it on the live stream, but I know I think I put it in the comments. But Tangerine Dream,
Okay.
they're basically a ambient
Okay.
band.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It's just all keyboards, no vocals, and
Yeah.
I mean, I bought 3 of them of this band.
You kept buying them.
I
mean, I don't think
yeah.
they're making music
This is
nowadays.
This is probably the.
Maybe you'll hit gold with one. Maybe you thought you're like maybe the one.
I
maybe
mean,
Maybe the next one
maybe.
will be good.
They've released 100 like over. It seems like 100 albums this band did.
Oh my gosh.
And apparently they get poppy in the 80s, so maybe those 80s albums are better.
Well, that's what they sell.
So I don't know.
That's when they sold out.
Probably. Maybe I'll like that more.
I guess it was Tangerine Wake Up at that point.
Yeah, probably. I mean, of the 3 I bought, this is probably the best one, but that's not saying much because it's basically the same. It's just, yeah, if you like ambient stuff, I mean, cool if you like it, but I don't know. I'm not into this sort of stuff on its own. Which, if I hadn't have bought this album, probably the actual dishonorable mention would have gone to Wild Cherry with their album. But at least that album had played that funky music on it.
Right.
Mm.
Okay.
So that kind of boosts it up a little bit. But yeah, that's my dishonorable mention. Stratosphere by Tangerine Dream.
Can you imagine concert? Hey, play that one ambient song. I love that one.
Yeah, people are pressed too high at that point.
Oh boy. All right, I'm going to start with the ones that I have. Well, Chicago 10 is one, but I know I don't have that with me. The Alan Parsons Project with Tales of Mystery and Imagination, Edgar Allan Poe. Elton John with Blue Moves.
Oh yeah.
It's a good album, but it could have been better. He could have put Don't Go Breaking My Heart on this album.
Is that considered the last of his like classic period?
Probably. That's the last one he works with Bernie Taupin for.
That's what I. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that's
So
what I heard someone say. Someone said Blue Moves was like the last.
It's probably why he exited his classic period, because whoever he was collaborating with was not nearly as good of a wordsmith as Taupin was.
Yeah, I heard he got somebody else. Yeah, after that, it wasn't as good.
But Bernie comes back on. Too Low for Zero.
I like that album.
We got Rocks by Aerosmith. Back in the Saddle. Epic. Yeah, not Permanent Vacation. That's later. What's the name? Toys in the Attic made my 75 list, but sadly, Rocks did not make this list.
Mm-hmm.
Taking It to the Streets by the Doobie Brothers. I actually really enjoyed this record a lot more listening to it for this list. I need to listen to this more often. There's some really good stuff on here. And I like Michael McDonald. He's got a great voice. Frampton Comes Alive by Peter Frampton.
Okay.
There's some good stuff on there. Baby, I Love Your Way. Show Me the Way. Do You Feel Like We Do? One of the only artists where I feel like his live album is more famous than any of his studio stuff, which I think is really weird. But that's his most famous album, and all of his famous songs are the live versions specifically from that album.
I feel like Johnny Cash's live albums are more popular, but yeah.
Yeah, he's got popular live albums, but if he's also got the American recording stuff like Hurt and, later in his career.
Right.
Peter Frampton, like you ask somebody to name a Peter Frampton song, they're probably going to say Show Me the Way or Baby I Love Your Way, and are thinking specifically of that live version.
Yeah.
Station to Station by the Thin White Duke, a.k.a. David Bowie. Which that album practically is written and performed by the Thin White Duke. Bowie was gone. Left Overture by Kansas. This is probably my top honorable mention, my number 11.
I thought that would be in your top 10.
Yeah. I wish it could. It's a great record. Carry On My Wayward Son is some of the greatest guitar playing. Oh, that's my number 1. We're going to have to go to my albums I do not own.
Guys, I gotta leave. I gotta leave pretty shortly. Dinner's ready.
Okay.
My family.
Jailbreak by Thin Lizzy, Fly Like an Eagle by the Steve Miller Band, Night Moves by Bob Seger, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers debut, The Ramones by the Ramones, Children of the World by the Bee Gees, Roaring Silence by Manfred Mann, um, and yeah, we'll just leave it at that. And dishonorable mention, I'm with Nick, Black and Blue by the Rolling Stones. I was gonna go with "Presence" by Led Zeppelin, but then I remembered that Achilles' Last Stand and Nobody's Fault But Mine are on that record, so we're going with the Stones because that one, the good songs are good, but they're not like. At least the Zeppelin record has like actually amazing songs on it. The Stones record, the good songs are just all right. So
Cool.
Okay, Nick, you want to go through number one?
Yeah, my number one is A Day at the Races. Obvious. They're on
What?
a big streak
What?
now. I know. I can't go too in depth. You guys pretty much already said all you have to say. Great album. I love
That's
Queen.
that's third in a row. Yeah.
I know. Well, 74, 70. Yeah, this is third in a row. They
Yeah.
three-peat. Let's go. Sorry, I had to leave early. I wasn't expecting family to be over, but
Okay.
yeah, have a good one, guys.
Thanks, Nick.
okay, we might want to push something so that Jason doesn't not be able to hear us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wait,
Okay, I can.
but Pierre left though, so that means can you still hear us?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
can you,
good.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. All right. For me, yeah, I have 5 honorable mentions. 3 of them are so close to make my top 10. It was hard to cut them out, but I had to cut them. But yeah, Trick of the Tail by Genesis. I kind of surprised I had to cut that one. That was one I thought for sure that'd make it, but then some of the other albums I just listened to and I was like, I think I like this just a little bit more. But yeah, Ripple's amazing. Chicago 10 by Chicago. I really thought this would be in my top 10. Chicago 10 be my top 10. If You Leave Me Now, the first number one hit comes off this album. Love
That would
that
probably be in
song.
my top 10 songs of this year.
Yes, that's such a great song. I love Peter Cetera's voice. But yeah, there's some good stuff on that album. But yeah, couldn't quite make it. Also, Take It to the Streets by the Doobie Brothers. Barely missed out. I thought that could make it as well. But Taking the Streets, yeah, great song. Again, I guess the lead singer had health issues, and so Michael McDonald kind of got recruited in and kind of started taking over after this album for the lead singer. Yeah, I agree. Good voice. Um, Whistling Down the Wire by Crosby Nash. I thought was a good album by Crosby Nash. And then Rocks by Aerosmith also made my own mention. Yeah, it's a solid Aerosmith rock album. I just want to mention, I wanted to mention this album because I think it's so interesting. And it's called Starland Vocal Band by Starland Vocal Band. And if you know anything about this band, they had one hit, and that was Afternoon Delight,
Oh,
which is a good song. I really like that song. But the history behind it is so interesting because basically this is a married couple, or eventually got married, I know, um, named Bill Danoff and Taffy Nivert, and they were a singing duo in Washington D.C. And John Denver came in to do some concerts, and they met John Denver and kind of become friends with him. And said, "Hey, John, do you want to come by the apartment? We're working on this song. We need some help with it. The name of the song is Take Me Home, Country Roads." And so John Denver goes to their apartment and finishes the song for them, and then it's like, "Hey, can I put that on my next album, Poems, Prayers, and Promises?" And they're like, "All right." So it comes like John Denver's biggest hit. They also wrote I wish I'd rather be in Colorado, which is another really good song from John Denver. So they became pretty good friends with John Denver. So um, uh, Bill Danthers, he came with this idea for Afternoon Delight and was like, "Oh, I got this idea for this really cool song," and he wrote it out, and he kind of thought, you know what, I need a 4-part harmony. I need to be like ABBA. He was like, I want to be like ABBA or like mamas and papas. I want like a cool 4-part harmony, 2 guys, 2 girls, you know. So they recruit 2 more people into the group, 2 local singers, musicians, and basically just for the song Afternoon Delight. It was basically everything's for that. And so they do this Afternoon Delight. The vocals are great, the harmonies are great, super catchy song. Comes like a #1 hit for them. Uh, so then they're like, all right, we need to. Of course, they have to rename their from the duo to a band, so they come up with the name Starland Vocal Band. And so now they got to come up with an album, but he doesn't have really. He just has. It's like he just had this one really good song that he wrote, and then he had to come up with more songs for this album. And they ended up signing with John Denver's label, Windsong. He had his own. So they got promoted by John Denver. They put out this album. It does very well because that song is a huge hit. And I said they got the backing of John Denver and all that. So really cool stuff. They end up winning the Grammy for Best New Artist, which and I forget who they're up against, but I mean they're up against. I know they're up against somebody that probably should have won, but it was one of those instances where it was like one of those things where it's like they just had that one hit song that really propelled them. And I listened to the album. It's not the worst album in the world, but it's like nothing is nearly as good as Afternoon Delight on that album. They even cover America Tune, yeah, I think by Paul Simon. And even though it has a 4-part harmony, it's still not nearly as good as like what Paul Simon does with it. And I feel like the rest of the album doesn't have good 4-part harmony. It's like he had that one song, and that whole album exists for that one song, and he wasn't able to really do much else other than that. So they're kind of a one-hit wonder band, and they made other albums, and none of them did very well. So this is like the one album that did good for them. But I don't know. I had to put it on here just because I thought the history was so interesting behind this album for me, anyway. So that's my dishonorable mention. All right, got one #1. So now we go to Bryer because my second guess was Agents of Fortune, but that was in your honorable mention, so I was wrong on that one as well.
Oh
So
no,
I really don't know.
that's not one of their best album anyway.
I mean, you need more cowbell. That's the Need More Cowbell album. I thought that.
Yeah, that's like the best song on it.
Yeah, I listened to that album and nothing else was as good as.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's a big album for them, right?
I mean, yeah, it was. I mean, of course, it had the big single.
Yeah. What is it? Fire of Unknown Origins? Is that the good one?
Yeah,
that's a good one. That's a good one. That's like from '81. But anyway, #1. It's good we got to this. It was a long journey, but once you get to the end of the road, because at the end of the road, all you see is a rainbow rising.
Oh, rainbow. Yes. Okay.
Yep. So the band's called Rainbow. This is their second album called Rising. Of course, we all know Rainbow. This is the band Ritchie Blackmore formed after he left Deep Purple. And of course, you have the legendary lead singer, and that is, of course, Ronnie James Dio, one of the great singers in hard rock and heavy metal of all time. And to me, this album has probably his greatest vocal work on any album he's ever done, both here, Sabbath, and his own solo stuff. Like, to me, this is like the epitome of his powerful vocals. And that's what really gets me is just, I think, again, Ronnie's vocals were just give me goosebumps. Like, I know I love Freddie Mercury. I love this stuff on A Day of the Races, but in this particular year, Ronnie just edged it just a little bit more. But I mean, there's only 6 tracks, but man, every song on here just hits right out of the gates. The first song, Tarot Woman, kind of builds up. It's just a keyboard done by Tony Carey, and just kind of eases you in. But then Richie's guitar just gradually comes in, and then it just bang, just hits you right in the face with the main riff, and it's just this big, massive sound. You also have famed rock drummer Cozy Powell on drums, and his drum sound is just immense, just very heavy sounding, and some good solid bass work as well from Jimmy Bain. But yeah, Tarot Woman, excellent opening song. And then Run with the Wolf is the next one, just another good, just all-around headbanger. It's not the most grandiose song, but still a good heavy song to kind of get you moving. Starstruck is one of the more catchier songs, has probably one of the more catchier choruses on here, but it's a lot of fun. Again, just another good good work on that one. Same thing can be said with Do You Close Your Eyes? I think it was I think it was the main single, I think, if I remember correctly. But that's a good, like, more slightly commercial track on here. But then side two, you have the two epics, and obviously my favorite song on here is Stargazer. Again, that's like, again, I said this before, but this song probably has Ronnie's best vocal performance he's ever done. Just the grandioseness of it, just this epic sound to it, and probably one of my favorite Richie Blackmore guitar performances as well, because he has this very almost Middle Eastern sort of influence in the guitar solos, which is really cool. And then the climax just sends chills down my spine. And again, hearing Ronnie just really belt out the final words almost gets me teary-eyed almost a little bit. But yeah, I love Stargazer, one of my favorites. And not to knock off the last song, Light in the Black, another one of the epic songs on here. That's still a really good song as well. Do I prefer Stargazer as the last song? Probably. But, Light in the Black is still a really nice, good song to close out the album. Another very heavy song. And again, really has a good climax at the end. But yeah, I mean, one of my favorite albums of the 70s in general, I would say. Okay. So that's my number one, Rising by Rainbow.
Was that on the album exchange?
Yes, it was. And yeah.
Okay. So I heard the album. That's what I was trying to figure out. Like,
you heard it, yeah.
Song? So I'm like, yeah, I heard it. Because Stargazer sounds familiar. So I was like, I think that was my favorite song on the album, but I can't remember. But yeah. Okay, cool. So all right. So I actually heard the album.
Yeah.
All right. What could it be for you, Nick? I'm Nick. Sorry, Scott. What's left?
Well, this is an album that everyone else has talked about and that has been hinted at several times that I would talk more about. Here it is.
Yeah.
This is my favorite album, not by the Beatles.
Yeah.
I love this. This is so good. I was obsessed with this when I first heard it in college. It was my, I think it was the second semester, so the spring of my freshman year. I heard this. Of course, I'd heard More Than a Feeling, but something made me want to check out the whole album, and I was not disappointed. And then to find out that most of this album is just one guy recording it in his basement is just mind-blowing.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, there's the other two who perform on here, Brad Delp doing the vocals and Sib Hashian on the drums, but most of the other instrumentation is done by Tom Schultz, an MIT graduate who had been working on these songs for a long time. But of course, he went to college, so that threw a little bit of a curveball to MIT, and then he got a job at Polaroid, and so he only had time to work on these songs late at night, but he built a recording studio in his basement, and this guy was so smart that he would create his own recording equipment to make some of the sounds heard on this album. And whenever he had turned in the demo tape, the president of the record company told him that he had to re-record everything with the actual band rather than just do what was on the demo tape, because what's on the demo tape is mainly just him. He didn't listen, and he re-recorded this album mostly in his basement. And then, of course, he got Brad to come in and do the vocals, and then Sib Hashian to come in and do the drums. But, of course, the record company got snoopy, and so it's so funny. He tricked the record company by recording Let Me Take You Home Tonight live in the studio with the rest of his band. That's why this sounds so different than any of the other song on the record, is because Let Me Take You Home Tonight is the only song that was actually recorded in a recording studio. And it was just done that way so that when the record executives would come in, they could see that Boston was actually working in the recording studio like they were asked to. Everything else is done in Tom Schultz's basement. The guitar sound on this record is huge. I love how there are great both acoustic and electric guitar moments. More Than a Feeling is a classic track. That song is awesome. I love the guitars, and Brad Delp's vocals on this whole record are just so good. Peace of Mind, that's got a great guitar riff. I like how it kind of plays with the acoustic and the electric guitar, and I like the guitar riffs where the guitars like harmonize near the end of the song. And I love the end where he just kind of screams, "Look ahead!" Oh, it's so good. Long Time. The organ at the beginning is just spacey, so cool, and then you get the bass and the guitar. The when it actually kicks in is a great song with some great guitar solos. Rock and Roll Band kind of almost takes like the sound of like a 60s rock song and brings it into the 70s with the updated production. Great guitar solo. And when Brad Delp screams out, "Sign a record company contract, I've got great expectations." That's the best part of that song. Smokin' has an awesome organ solo. Funny enough, Tom Schultz actually considered himself a better keyboardist than guitar player. So he kind of gets to show off his organ playing skills, both on Long Time and on the organ solo to Smokin'. Hitch a Ride. Man, that song is cool. That's kind of dialing it back a little bit. At the beginning, at least, it's kind of a more ballady song. But then at the end, you get this awesome outro guitar solo where two guitars, which they're both played by Schultz, are kind of like, it seems like they're dueling at the end. You got Something About You, which is another great song. And we already mentioned Let Me Take You Home Tonight. But yeah, perfect record. This is in my probably my top 3 albums of all time, underneath Abbey Road and Sgt. Pepper's.
Yeah, pretty big for you.
Every time I listen to that album, it's just like, it can't get much better than this.
Yeah, I know you've always really loved that album.
Yeah, I once, funny thing about this particular copy, it's like I went on a quest to find it. So I was listening to this album a lot, and I was like, I need to get this album on record. So I went to a record store. It was right before I was going to go see Avengers Endgame for the second time. And so I went to the record store, and then they didn't have it, and I went to another record store, and as soon as I walked in, like, I could see it from when I walked in, and so I had to like run over to get it because I'm like, I see it, it's right over there. Oh yeah. That's one of the commenters was mentioning this. So it's a UFO, but you turn it upside down, and it's a guitar. It's an interesting album cover.
I see it. Yeah. I didn't know that. And Scott, you bought me this. This is your.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
I think it might have been for Christmas one year.
Yeah, you bought me that. So my copy is one that you bought me.
Okay, I must have forgot about that.
Yeah, Classic Rock Army's Eagles, 7 Bridge Road. Yeah.
I was just about to start singing it, and then I realized it's an Eagles song.
Yeah, it's Eagles song.
Don Henley.
Yeah, so that's right back there. Yeah. All right, you guys can guess my number one. It's one album I haven't talked about. Hotel California. Best-selling album of the year, my number one. So I'm 100% with the everybody in 76. I'm along with the popularity crowd. This is such a great album, and I forgot you can open it up. Oh, yeah, it's very cool.
See the demon on the balcony.
Yeah, what's going on there?
It's what's his name? Bernie Ledden. He's upset he had to leave the band.
Hey guys, what are you doing? What's going on?
That's what happened to him after he left.
Yeah.
He's coming back to haunt them. He didn't get invited to the party.
Yes, thank you. Excellent album. Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, if I ever go visit Bryer one day, I'll be in a Hotel California. One day. Yeah, this is, I mean, I'm gonna say things. It's my favorite Eagles album. It's my favorite Eagles song. Hotel California. It's the typical one, but man, so classic, so epic. The intro is so good. I love how intros with that drum beat to start the song. So good. And even that part where it says you can cut them with your Steely Dan's or something like that, but you can't.
Oh, yeah.
You can't stab them with your Steely Dan. Is that it?
Stab them with your Steely
knives.
You just
sorry.
can't kill the beast.
I said Steely Dan. Steely Dan. Sorry.
That was the Eagles' way of getting back at Steely Dan for saying, "Turn up the Eagles. The neighbors are listening."
Yeah, I knew there was some kind of rivalry or something. I don't know what was going on there, but That was so funny. He's stealing your Steely Dan, but he can't. Yeah, and then there's like this drum beat afterwards. Oh, so good. Um, and Joe Walsh. I really love this lineup with Joe Walsh and Don Felder, two great guitar players playing at the same time. I mean, that's what makes the Eagles so good to me. I know a lot of people they don't like the Eagles or something like that. They, whatever it is, but I'm like, how man, their musicianship is amazing. Like the guitar playing is top notch for me. The drumming, the bass playing, it's all amazing. Like I don't know how you can't like what they're doing. Besides the great harmonies and melodies and catchy choruses and all that. But yeah, and Joe Walsh from Wichita, Kansas, by the way, my hometown, where I was born, and I love that guitar solo at the end. It's like on my list of my favorite guitar solos of all time. I don't know if it's the most complicated, but just the fact that they're both playing at the same time in sync, slightly different parts on the fretboard. It's so fun to watch. I mean, I say watch because I always watch it on YouTube when they do it. It's so fun. But it's such a epic song. It could be a good closer. They begin with their epic song. It's like beginning Crosby, Stills and Nash with Sweet Judy Blue Eyes. It's like man, that's such a epic song. It should be part of the closer, but I mean, I get it. It's your big song, so you're gonna hit us with it right away. But yeah, New Kid in Town, the best harmonies on the whole album. Another big hit on the radio. I agree. That's amazing song. Um, Live in the Fast Lane, probably the most memorable guitar riff. I mean, it's like one of those once you hear it, yeah, it's like it gets in your head. Um, One of the more rocking songs. They don't have songs that rocking normally, I feel like. So that's an unusual song for the Eagles, but it's cool it's on this album and you got those three big hits. And I agree, Waste of Time I thought was a really good song. And I mean I think every song's good on this album. It's just a perfect album for me. But and The Last Resort was such a great deep cut, I think. Such a good um hidden gem that I discovered when listening to this album and just going, man, this is one of the best songs that aren't isn't a hit, I think, out of the Eagles. Yeah, it's like I said, it's like a perfect Eagles album. I love the Eagles. They're one of my favorite. They're like a top five band for me. All their albums are high on my top 10, except for the first album. I don't like the first album because it's more country. But Desperado onward, it's like they're all in my top five. Uh, like this one hit number one. So yeah, Hotel California for me was the best album. See, Eagles still going in the 80s. I used to watch a cartoon called Galaxy High. Surprised to find out later it was done by Don Fielder. I don't know about that. Oh, the theme song. Oh, okay.
Hmm.
And Fielder was such a good guitar player too. I mean, I think of Joe Walsh a lot, but yeah, Felder. I don't know if he gets as much recognition as Joe Walsh. Maybe he does, but uh,
I
I know
mean,
he
he
eventually.
wrote the main riff to Hotel California, so
Yeah, very true. I know he kind of left the band on bad terms, though. I suppose they all kind of broke up in bad terms, but uh, Meisner, I guess, kind of left on bad terms too in some senses. But it's unfortunate. Kay said Meisner's so good as well. But yeah, all right. So that's our top 10 favorite albums of 1976. All four different number ones. Uh, the two albums we all agreed on was Boston and Hotel California, I think.
I
What
think
the
we all
alias.
had ELO.
Day of the
Oh
race,
wait, no,
and we all
Bryer
Briar
didn't his
didn't.
own much though.
Yeah, Briar
no,
didn't.
we all have Day of the Races on it.
No, Day at the
Yeah,
Race. Sorry, not Hotel California. Nick didn't have that one on. That's the one. That's all right. Yeah, two of them was Boston Day at the Races was the two that we all had. Of course, when it comes to Queen, we all four kind of usually have them in our top 10. That seems like the one band we all can agree on, I think. Yeah, in Boston, that's just one of those albums we just couldn't deny. I wasn't sure if all four of us would have that one on. I knew a couple of us would for sure, but so that's cool to see that. And that Day Races was the number one, and Boston was the number one. So not only did it was all four, but it also hit number one for two of us, anyways. Yeah, so good list, good variety of stuff here. Thanks to Nick, Bryer, and Scott for joining me again for another great year of ranking albums. And 77, not too bad either. there's a rumor that the next year is really good,
Yeah.
right? That's the rumor I'm hearing.
Yeah, might be an illusion, might be a grand illusion, but I don't know.
Don't be a stranger.
Yeah, don't be a stranger and tune back in, and we'll see you again for
Yeah.
77.
Look out for news of the world later on.
Yeah. Look at the news.
You can even just show up out of the blue if you'd like.
Yes. And thank you to all the people that were in the comments. I wasn't familiar with you and appreciate all the comments. Besides that, we will see you later and have a good rest of the week.